across the plains. Hope rekindles in the crimson tide as freedom's anthem calls our names. Great again, we rise as one, under stars that guide our way. A song of promise has begun, and strength returns in light of day. Fields of dreams are ripe once more. Factories hum with honest pride. Our banner waves on every shore, with courage marching by our side. Great again, we rise as one, under stars that guide our way. A song of promise has begun, and strength returns in light of day. Through trials dark, we found our steel. The eagle's cry breaks through the night. In unity, our wounds now heal. We chase the dawn with fearless light. Great again, we rise as one, under stars that guide our way. A song of promise has begun, and strength returns in light of day.
Hey, how's everybody out there doing? What's going on, everyone? Let me see. What do we got? Commander, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Always. Chris, good to see you. You have a tab open, Jade. Sorry. Yeah, good. That's better. Thank you. My brother from the same mother, Jimmy from Philly's in the house. What's up, Simon? Chris. Let's see who else is here. No one's chiming in yet. All right, guys. How you doing, Dr. Jade? What's going on?
Yeah, doing all right. Doing all right. Got problems with rabbits eating my grass, but other than that, we're doing good.
Oh, all right.
Sorry about the other volume. I forgot to turn the volume down.
Kill the wabbit. Kill the wabbit. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Tina? Good to see you. So let's see.
Yeah. Hello,
man.
everybody.
There are stories galore this week, man.
Isn't there always?
Oh, I'm telling you, man. We come up with themes and all. Too. This week is the Iran deal. It was pretty much the theme. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go over real quick, like I always do, and see what's going on this week. Got some videos as well. All right, the top one that I like the most, Tulsi Gabbard, on her last day on the job, she did a video exposing Fauci. Do you see the binders to her left? Well, that's all the documents that she has that proves that he lied to Congress. He funded COVID. He broke laws to manipulate the story of how it came out, and he did it through our intel people, like even people that weren't there anymore. Brannon, those guys. He did so many things that he should be arrested for, and this was her gift to America by pointing all this out. Wait till you hear that. And Kurt Schlichter, don't panic about the Iran deal. All these lib nuts are out there. It's a terrible deal. At least Obama stopped the. I mean, I keep telling them, They started doing the enrichment under Obama's deal. You understand that, right? Dumbasses.
Yeah, well,
Here we go.
didn't the JPSOCA or something, whatever it's called?
The IAEA.
No. The deal that he made.
Oh, the JOCOA. Something. Yeah,
I forget but
yeah, it means help. There's a hog in my kitchen. Go ahead.
They actually built in that Iran could have a nuclear weapon in 15 years. It's like, what?
And they removed it. And the libnuts, the Biden administration, removed that from the appendix. But I still have a copy of it somewhere. I have a copy of it when I downloaded it. And in the appendix, it said 15 years from the date of signature, right? And nobody signed it. And now they changed that story too, saying, well, Obama signed it. And the Iranians said the Iranians never signed it. And neither Obama nor Lurch, John Kerry, signed it. It was not a signed deal. And Trump pointed that out several times. Nobody signed it. But now if you go online, you can't believe anything that the libnuts tell you on CNN and all that. Oh, they signed it. Of course they did. Just Google it and Gemini will tell you that. Yeah, it's all bullshit. And we know it. Jeff Bezos actually told Trump his worst investment.
I got to hear that.
And it's hardly a surprise. Yeah. From Rook, Islamic group with terror ties tries to infiltrate Texas GOP, and the media is treating them like the victims. But it's just not going to happen. Pro baseball team forfeits Pride Night game after players refuse to wear the themed jerseys. Organization says this is happening, I believe, all throughout baseball. They're just saying, no, we're not going to wear that. You know, we're just not going to, and you can't force us to either.
Some of these guys have religious principles.
Yeah, or American principles. Like they're not crazy people, right? Fact checkers, it's in the DSM-5. Thank you. So Trump walks Iran into a trap. That's a good. By the way. What's that?
DSM-6.
M6. Oh, is it? It's up to the 6?
Yeah. We're at least up to 6, at least.
Really?
Retired. No.
When? Oh, all right. Because I never heard of 6. I was at DSM-5. Well, it's still in the DSM-5. They probably took gender dysphoria out of the 6, just like when they took homosexuality out for no reason but politics. So Trump walks Iran into a trap. That's a good one. So yeah, get this. You remember how they always said, well, Donald Trump, he had contractors really screwed in New York, you know, and Trump basically said, look, they did a lousy job, and I told them to fix it because they didn't give us what we paid them for, what we were paying them for. And they said no, so we withheld payment until they did it. But now everybody wants you to think that he was so cheap he didn't pay him. Well, guess what? Subcontractors say they're owed millions, face financial ruin after helping build Obama's presidential library. Do you see that building in the center there? That is his presidential library. I shit you not. It is the ugliest structure I've ever seen in my life, and he's proud of it. Amy Klobuchar trying to appeal to America first while trashing Trump is even dumber than it sounds. Can you imagine? Here we go. Gasoline drops below $4 a gallon nationally. I paid $3.89 the other day. Canadian government officially passes a Bible ban. There are things in the Bible that are now banned. And I
really want to hear that.
I know. They say, I keep forgetting that you're a Canadian first. Well, you're American first, but you were a Canadian at one time.
I'm not Canadian first. I was a Canadian.
Right. That's what I mean. I corrected myself.
Yeah, I'm definitely America first.
Oh, I know. I apologize. So hell has frozen over. Joy Behar, behind the scenes during a commercial break, she praised J.D. Vance. That could have been the death knell for his campaign. For 28, J.D. Vance commercial break on The View urged him to run for president. J.D. Vance calls out immaturity of many conservatives. Yeah, because they're doing this whole Iran thing. Trump is a pedo. All this bullshit, right?
No, they just they're as bad as the Dems. They just hate Trump. That's all.
No, that's what it is. That's the common thing. They hate Trump, and he lives in their head rent free, and he doesn't even like the furniture. So here we go. PA's highest court just ruled that a Soros-backed DA needs adult supervision, and it's Philly. It's the Philly DA. My brother, Jimmy from Philly, who's in the House, sent that to me. Democratic Socialist secures party's nomination for D.C. mayor after challenger concedes election. Now, let's put this into perspective, guys. The mayor of our capital city, right, the district, is a communist. Democratic Socialist, communist. Come on, same thing.
Socialist.
It's just unbelievable.
You know the only
Our
difference,
founders are rolling in their graves. What's that?
you know the only difference between a socialist and a communist.
Yeah, the actual like a Marxist and a communist. The communists use they're violent.
Well, to put it succinctly, a communist is a socialist that has picked up an AK-47.
There you go. Yes, the communists are violent, while the socialists is still like Marxist cultural Marxism.
Yeah,
Right.
they're weaselly.
Yeah, yeah. Is California reaching critical mass? Yeah. Is Bobbity here? Let me see who else is here. Yeah, it is. Jade is an American. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. You have to go fix a drain, dude. Are there drains in cars now? I thought you like fix cars. Stop playing the crazy game, please. Yeah, exactly. Hey, David Appling, dude, what's up, man? Tulsi did a great job. She did, and Trump is doing great with Iran, and Obama has shown piece of shit trade. He truly is. Now, you, David, you probably can't see all the rest of the stuff. If you come into, I'm going to put the link out right here. If you come into the actual YouTube, you'll be able to talk with people, and people here have a great time every week. There's the link, brother. I know you're watching, but there's the link. And if you come into, we're on Rumble, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube right now. But come into YouTube. That's where all the comments are. All the folks. You'll love everybody here.
And Jimmy,
yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So let's
Did
see.
you see what Jimmy said?
Yeah. I highlighted it for you. She's an American. Yeah. Here you go. This is crazy. You won't believe this Hollywood star's double standard on free speech. All right. I used to like her. Not anymore. California requires proof.
Who is that?
I can't remember her name. Hold on. It's Amanda Seyfried. Yeah. She's a good actress. She was gorgeous in her day, which was like 10 years ago. And now she's not so much. But I knew she was a libnut. Well, she wasn't a libnut until now. Now she's a friggin' libnut. California requires proof of gayness for contracts, but not voter ID.
Okay. So wait.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
So what do you carry a bona fide gay card?
I don't know. We're gonna have to read it.
Yeah. We got to hear that one.
Oh, you got to hear that one. And fact checkers, we are just reading the news here. All right,
reading the news, man.
Yeah.
Reading the news.
Right. I'm just a presenter. All right, with my own conservative MAGA first, America first opinions. Rogue judges are crippling the Constitution. Yeah, the Constitution, right? All right, so let's move on.
That's good.
Bombshell, Epstein notes expose desperate effort to take Trump down. Now, people say, well, that's because he took all his girls. No, it's because he realized in prison that he was there because of Trump. But the libnuts will never admit that. All right, here we go. Democrat, Nazi, Graham Plattner called police officers opportunistic cowards, and that resurfaced posts showed, because he tried to lock all his posts up, but people have them. No way CNN did this regarding the algae in the reflecting pool. They literally did a test on the reflecting pool water, as if people go in and swim in there, right? Or drink it, right? They did it. They went out there and did a piece where the woman dumped down and went in there. So we had people who died from a jab, right? They never did a test on that, right? We have water up in, what is it, Minnesota? Where is it up there? In Michigan, where Flint, Michigan, their water coming into their home, they haven't been able to use it for over a decade now. They all have to drink bottled water. And yet they never did a test for that, but they do a test on the reflecting pool. Facts first, they call it. Okay, so here we go. Breaking. Obama's dream boy is the ringleader of the UFC terror plot. You heard about the UFC terror plot?
Yep.
Yeah, and well, guess what? He's a DACA recipient under Barry.
So
Trump goes scorched earth on critics of Iran deal, and it's pretty damn good. Supreme Court narrows a law that bars drug users from owning guns. It says shall not be infringed, right? And John Nolte from Breitbart, who I love, his writing style. Los Angeles City Council prepares to allow non-citizens to vote. All right. And Gavin wants to run for president. Trump's Iran deal. Americans wanted something done short of ground troops, and they got it. All right. That's the theme tonight. Hillary Clinton shocks critics. Trump's big, beautiful Gaza plan is the real deal. Yeah, like we needed Hillary to tell us that. Vance, Trump's
that'll sully his reputation right there.
Yeah, I know. Vance, Trump's peace plan bearing real fruits for the American people. I want to get into that too. Complete 14-point U.S.-Iran peace deal finally revealed, kicking off 60-day clock to do the hardest work yet. Washington, D.C. swings far left.
Yikes. Get any further left?
I know. They'd be off the map. Yikes. Ukraine strikes Moscow hard with amazing video. Where do you see this video?
Oh, is this
they hit an oil plant, a refinery.
Is this the one at the oil tank?
The lid.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, well, they're going to see it.
Everybody's going to see it.
It's like amazing what happened.
It's unbelievable.
If that thing hit anybody coming down, they're mashed. They're pancakes.
Oh, yeah,
right?
You got to see this.
Democratic socialism. Radicals push to destroy the Constitution for socialist republic. They're out of their freaking minds, right? Brandon Gill, who I love more and more all the time, shuts down woke Democrats' race card games with one simple fact. There we go. Obama, there it is, man. Look how freaking ugly it is. Obama Presidential Center, a monument to malfeasance. Only jealous pinko losers begrudge Elon Musk his well-deserved success because he's the first trillionaire. So they all went nuts. Like, you can't just be a trillionaire. Well, yeah, you can. Think of all the things that he's done.
Yeah, they're all talking like he's got $1 trillion in his checking.
Right, and they're all talking as if he didn't deserve it because he didn't do anything. I heard a guy today say, "Look, if you go out there and I think he said you start an IHOP," and he said, and the IHOP is doing really well. And he goes, and you're making a good like 6 figures. Well, now you have 15 of them, right? He goes, and then eventually you have 100. And you're making $1 million a year off them. He goes, now you started them all. You hired the people to run them all. And you're the one that goes around in the region and makes sure that they're all being run properly. Everything's okay, right? You handled the franchises and all that. You did nothing in order to earn that money. AOC was the one coming out and saying that shit.
No, and they're saying, with all that money, I mean, how could he dare have all that money? We could cure world hunger. We could do this.
Yeah.
I mean, like
you're not going to cure world hunger.
Like the guy doesn't do anything for society. I
right.
mean, he supplies internet to most of Africa.
I know through Starlink.
Yeah. He's got, I mean, the whole electric car thing
he's got one where they're doing neural implants so that people that could not walk can walk again.
Yeah, and if people who've lost their eyesight can see,
people can hear again. I mean, they're coming up. I know they're coming up with all these incredible things, but he didn't do anything to become a trillionaire. Let's move on.
And he wants to go mine asteroids and bring all this stuff back to enrich the society.
Moving right along. So the World Cup is undoing decades of anti-American propaganda. I saw a video earlier this week of 2 people from the UK. All right. And they got a good channel, right? And what's called it? Hold on, let me see. Letting me go and giving them new trials without presiding post-conviction courts the facts of cases. Oh yeah, Krasner. We're gonna get to that, Jim. Yeah, we're gonna do that story. But let's see. This thing. It's about food. They came here for the World Cup and they're tasting American food, and they're like, oh my God. From all over the world. But I saw this couple from the UK and they visited the United States like 3 times so far, going to different spots. And they absolutely fell in love with everything about the country. It's pretty good.
I saw one where a couple of guys were sitting down to Texas barbecue and another patron goes over and says, no, knife and fork, put that down. Put that down. And you see the guy biting into the first rib and he's chewing on it and his eyes are getting big. And it's
we're going to see all that. The Obamas and Hillary Clinton show just how petty they are with remarks at the Obama Center ceremony. They're absolutely beyond.
I don't know if that's the ugliest building I've ever seen, but it's right up there.
It is horrific. Look at that. That's a presidential library. Now, was he trying to go for a motif of like, Kenya, like a shithole in Kenya? I don't know. But I mean, wow, look at that.
Art
Here you go.
Deco or
Fox,
something. I don't know anything about these things.
Fox Business host turns the tables fast after Ro Khanna tries to attack the Save America Act.
What an idiot.
Yeah, I know. What a moron. Deranged. Whoopi wants the Knicks to visit the White House for slavery reminder, not a victory lap. Oh, she's out of her freaking mind.
By the way, fact checkers, simply an individual's opinion.
Right. Omnipresent Obama, former president, says he emulates George Washington with quiet post-White House life. Are you shitting me? He's behind all the lawfare that happened to Trump. He and what the hell is their names? Valerie Jarrett and the other one, Susan Rice, right? Those two also ran pretty much most of Biden's White House, right? Because he had them embedded in there before before anybody could say, "Why are you here?"
Certainly, there's a bunch of people who think Obama was running the White House.
Yeah, well, he was through them, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was just because he said once he'd like to be
a third term. Yeah, he did.
Sweatpants
and that's what he did. And that's what he did.
A lot of people believe that's exactly what he did.
All right, here we go. I can't be sure, but I think Joe Biden is bragging to Jay Leno about destroying American energy. CNN, Trump administration plans to file at least 250 denaturalization cases by October.
You go,
Presidents
go.
Minus Trump gather at Trump didn't go. Gather at Obama Library. Bush suddenly redeemed. Election deniers forgotten. Adventures in the patriarchy. UK lady coppers on the beat. This is an older video, but I wanted to put it. It's hilarious because we have the same thing here. Well. Look what the Coast Guard dragged in. That's a good one. Vance reminds Israel who its only real ally is. Yeah, and that's pretty good too. Trump just obliterated the number one lie leftists are telling about the Iran deal. The deal is a disaster, but it may save the midterms. This is a very honest essay. Another Biden plague. They got another one coming. They're not going to go anywhere. All right, so let's get on. Let's see. Then we got a lot of videos this week, and we got all this stuff. So let me see. Louis, what's up, brother? Paca, good to see you. How you doing? Where's 40? Is he busy? He's probably busy. Yeah. There you go. All right, guys. We're going to get into it now. All right. Let's do the first one. I want to do Tulsi first because it's going to set the night, okay? Let's do that first. Here we go. I want to bring it back. All right, got that up. Here we go. Guys, this is 5 minutes, but it's well worth it if you want to see justice brought to Fauci.
Before the COVID pandemic, Dr. Fauci, as head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, provided millions in U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research on bat coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, work which is now widely viewed as the source of the unintentional lab leak that sparked the pandemic. Now, in support of President Trump's maximum transparency mandate, today, on my final day as Director of National Intelligence, I'm releasing never-before-seen communications and documents that expose exactly how Fauci worked with politicized career leadership in the intelligence community to suppress the truth about his actions, the virus's lab leak origins, and his role in directing U.S. funding for this dangerous research that caused immeasurable harm and countless lost lives.
Yep,
now, these documents expose Fauci's direct role in influencing and manipulating IC assessments on COVID-19 and how Fauci lied to Congress in 2024 when under oath he denied knowledge of or participation in discussions with intelligence officials about viral research. We also received testimony from multiple intelligence community whistleblowers who reported retaliation for challenging the intelligence community's manipulation of intelligence on the virus's origins, once again revealing a clear pattern of suppressing dissent, silencing critics, and burying the truth. Dr. Fauci's close relationships with the intelligence community enabled him to assume three key roles that shield him from scrutiny. First, Dr. Fauci funded dangerous gain-of-function coronavirus research.
And he lied to the Senate when he told Rand Paul that you don't know what you're talking about. Remember that? When he said that, when Rand said, wait a minute, so you paid for them to take a virus that would not be transferred to humans. They did work on it to make it transfer to humans. That is the very definition of gain of function. He came out, you don't know what you're talking about. But it is the classic definition of gain of function. That's what she's talking
linked
about.
to big pharma and their pursuit of universal vaccines worth trillions of dollars.
Money.
Second, Dr. Fauci was the behind-the-scenes advisor who, alongside his hand-picked so-called experts, pushed the intelligence community to endorse a natural animal origin to hide his dangerous gain-of-function research that he funded using taxpayer dollars.
Yep.
All of this in a deliberate attempt to cover up the truth and shift the blame and attention away from Fauci's own actions.
Right.
Third, Dr. Fauci became the nation's pandemic pundit, and he publicly pushed lies, disinformation, and censorship using every platform available.
Yep.
Now, according to hundreds of reviewed emails, which are included in this release, the intelligence community almost always incorporated Fauci's recommendations. He promoted a fraudulent paper whose publication he helped prompt as legitimate information for intelligence community consideration. Senior analysts praised Dr. Fauci, not as a policymaker, but as what they called an unbiased guide to the real coronavirus experts, while deliberately ignoring experts who might dissent from Fauci's narratives. Now, Fauci didn't stop there. He blatantly lied to Congress under oath during his 2024 testimony to the House Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus Pandemic, denying that he ever spoke to any intelligence agency about COVID. Now, the correspondence I'm releasing today directly contradicts his sworn testimony.
Oh, yeah. She got
And we
nailed.
received statements from multiple whistleblowers revealing that the intelligence analysts who dared to challenge Dr. Fauci's COVID origin conclusions faced threats of retaliation, marginalization, and many suffered career setbacks. For example, a contractor was terminated just days after coming forward to ODNI as a whistleblower. Another example, those who advocated for the lab leak hypothesis or expressed dissenting views were reminded by their managers that leadership would determine which analysts would be promoted and which would not.
Do you remember during the first impeachment of Trump, when the Democrats, especially pencil neck Adam Schiff, when they said that whistleblowers were virtuous, you got to protect the whistle. He said we got to protect the whistleblower at all costs. His name was Eric Charmella, right? And people got in trouble for actually saying his name publicly, even though there was no law to say that. You got to protect him. The Biden administration literally attacked whistleblowers, like attacked them. Like I know an FBI guy, his mom's in my Facebook friends, where they asked me if I could do something, and I tried to reach out to David Harris Jr. because he knows Trump, but I couldn't get that connection to go. But what they did to him was they tried to accuse him of things, and here it turns out that a lot of these guys, they say, okay, you're on leave without pay, and you can't, you couldn't, according to your contract with the FBI, you couldn't get another job to feed your family, right? And so you had no money coming in because they wouldn't fire you, but you were on leave without pay if you were a whistleblower. And I mean, that is cruelty. Unbelievable.
The message was clear. Go along or be punished. Senior leaders also sought to undermine whistleblowers by removing anonymity, which is required in the whistleblower process, as they made their complaints, and also insisting that their managers or attorneys be present during ODNI meetings where these whistleblowers were coming forward with their testimony, obviously creating an atmosphere of intimidation. The COVID pandemic caused tremendous hardship and pain for millions of our fellow Americans and countless people around the world. Now, after years of lies and censorship and cover-ups, the American people deserve transparency, truth, and accountability. The tactics that were used to hide the truth are straight from the deep state playbook. Politicized self-serving leaders like Dr.
They killed people.
Fauci covered up their own wrongdoing and abuses of power, manipulated intelligence, lied to Congress, and undermined a duly elected president by restricting his access to the vital facts he needed to keep the country safe. It's time you know the truth.
Yep. She was the one. It's a shame. I mean, I feel bad for her husband and all that, but it's a damn shame that she has to go because she was the only one that was continually referring criminal referrals, right, to the DOJ for all these people because Pam Bondi was worthless, right? Now the new guy, I believe Trump's going to put him up for the AG because Todd Blanche, because he's doing a fantastic job. I knew he would too.
Yeah, I was suspicious at the beginning, but yeah, he seems to be doing a good job.
Oh, he's always been a MAGA and America First guy.
Yeah, but you know
and
what
he doesn't.
You know what I have to say about the whistleblower thing?
Yeah.
Well, it's different when we do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, if there's a whistleblower against Democrat causes, oh, well, it's different.
Yeah.
And, you know, Fauci, a lot of what he said, now I'd have to read through these papers, but a lot of what he said was kind of technically true because he had plausible deniability because what he didn't donate to that lab. Oh, he donated to this fund that donated to the other guy.
Well, there was
guy that finally donated to that lab. It was
called Echo Alliance.
Yeah, it was
Health.
it was like
well, it was Echo Alliance. Echo Alliance was a company that took the money and then they gave it directly to the Wuhan lab in this case. But the big part that he did was he bypassed the NIH's panel that when you give grant money to foreign countries, right, that you had to get it approved. And the problem was he never went through that process. He skirted around it because he knew he wouldn't get it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that he did, I'm sure, that you know, that was not right, maybe illegal, but yeah, he tried to insulate himself by burying it into plausible deniability.
Right. There we go. Jeff Bezos told Trump this was his worst investment, and it's hardly a surprise. What do you think it is? Come on, guys, tell me in the chat. What do you think it is?
Yeah, I'm going to say something about climate, like electric.
Who else? Anybody else? Come on, guys. Come on.
Electric vehicles.
Come on. Jeff Bezos, who owns Amazon, said to Trump, this was the worst investment I ever made. The people there are mean. I mean, you know, what do you guys think? Come on, somebody. Louis, what do you think? What do you think it is? His worst investment ever.
No, I'm wrong. I don't think it's that. I don't know what it is.
All right. We're going to go through it now.
But I want to know.
Oh, you're going to know. There are no secrets in Washington, and there certainly aren't any for billionaires whose lives are constantly under scrutiny. Their investments are also watched from afar, and for Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, there's one he'd rather ditch yesterday. He reportedly told President Trump that buying the Washington Post was a huge mistake and that people working there are downright terrible. He called them terrible people. Another thing Bezos mentioned was that the staff there don't listen either. The publication was facing some financial struggles long before Bezos bought the paper. Quote, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos called the Washington Post his worst investment in a conversation with Trump months before gutting the newsroom, according to a new book by New York Times journalist Jonathan Swan and Maggie Haberman. Haberman is a real piece of shit. She is the quintessential Trump hater at the New York Times. Quote, the people there are terrible, he told Trump over dinner in December 2024, according to an excerpt obtained by the Post ahead of June 23 release in the regime change inside the imperial presidency of Donald Trump. Yeah, that's their great little headline, right? Quote, they don't listen. My other companies, they listen, Bezos said, focusing his ire at the business side of the publication after losing more than $100 million that year. Yeah, when you lose, I don't care how much money you got. When you lose $100 million because of the incompetency of the people that work there, you have a right to call them terrible because they're terrible. About 2 months after the dinner, Bezos ordered the Washington Post's opinion pages to promote two pillars, personal liberties and free markets. as subscribers peeled off in protest of the paper withholding its endorsement from Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris. Right? Well, what the hell? She didn't get a single primary vote. So what are you talking about? Bezos this February authorized a sweeping downsizing of the celebrated Watergate paper, eliminating roughly a third of its workforce. We reported that, including all staff photographers in the sports section. That's nothing like the Los Angeles Times, the new guy, the Asian guy, he bought it, and he immediately got rid of the entire opinion staff, the editors. He got rid of the entire staff. He's like,
the entire editorial section.
Yeah, editorial. That's what I meant. Yeah, thank you. He got rid of the entire editorial, which is an opinion, staff, because he said, you guys are terrible. Nobody's reading your stuff because they're liberals, right? It's a tough business. It's even worse when you have staffers who are unhinged lefty theater kids. Oh my goodness. That was great.
I'm embarrassed. I should have guessed that. That's right up there. Yeah.
Yeah, God's sad. He's good. I like him. The Washington Compost. Yeah. Yeah, the Washington Post. Yeah, everybody got it right. The Washington Post. Cool. Yeah, a lot of people don't know he owned it. So let's see. Terrorize, infiltrate Texas media, treating them like the victims. Pro baseball. I don't want to do that one right away. So let's do Trump walks Iran into a trap. Let's share that one. Yeah, this is from American Thinker. And here you thought Trump was being naive, trusting the word of a dishonest regime, when in reality, he's setting up checkmate, right? The libnuts, see, Dan Bongino has this rule. It's called the Bongino rule. And what it is you should wait 48 hours before you say something about anything that's said about Donald Trump and his administration. Because within those 48 hours, usually within a few hours, you find out it's total horseshit, right? That it was bullshit lies, and that you're going to make an ass of yourself when you come out. Hey, he's back. Good to see you again, brother. Thanks for coming back. What happened? You got to tell us. So I mean, that's where we are. So he walks him into a trap. Now you got to see what they think about it. So here you thought he was being naive, trusting in the memo of understanding. It's not a treaty or an agreement or a promise. Guess what? It's the same thing that Obama did. It wasn't a treaty, but see, Trump wanted to deal. Trump would have gotten it through as a treaty. Obama would not have, because what Trump wanted to do was take out their military, which he did. Right? He took out 3 layers of their regime. Right? They're saying he's giving $300 billion. No, he's not. Fuck that. No U.S. tax dollars are going to Iran out of that $300 billion. There's $24 million that will go to them, but that's money that was frozen, that was theirs to begin with, which is what Obama came back and said, that $1.7 billion that he delivered on pallets in the middle of the night, like Pablo Escobar. Yeah, they said, well, it was just things that they already had. Right? Well, now it's horrific that $24 million instead of $1.7 billion goes back of frozen assets. But all the rest of the money is coming from the region. They're from Qatar and all the other, all the other countries are saying, okay, we'll invest in Iran because there's a lot to invest in. They used to be a very pro-Western country until the Ayatollah came. All right. It's just a memo. Here's what I think Trump is doing 4 steps ahead of everyone else as usual. Trump made a big deal out of signing the MOU publicly. Cameras, people standing around, a worldwide press event of the signing. But Trump knew, and still knows full well, that the Iranians have no intention of adhering to the memo or to any future deal. They will cheat. Because they always do. They've never stuck to any agreement they made with anybody, including themselves. And when they do, Trump will be able to say, the U.S. signed the MOU in good faith. The Iranians signed it too. Now, world, you can see clearly that Iran alone on the world stage cannot be trusted to adhere to any agreement. China and Russia are another story for another time, because he took care of both of them as well with this deal. Trump's tactic here is a weird and convoluted Alinsky move of freezing the target, isolating it, Iran, and then destroying it. Now, that's an Alinsky move where, think about it. We have a ton, well, the way he did it was there's a ton of conservatives and Republicans out there that are saying all the same thing. They're just repeating it. Find one. You don't have to go after all of them. Just find one who would be the most popular one on their side and isolate him and destroy him. And everybody else is found guilty because of association. So that's what he's doing to them, All right. Make no mistake that Trump is fully prepared to bomb them into particles if they break the MOU and any subsequent treaty/deal they will sign in the future. And he will do it.
And that is the big difference, because we've taken out their military pretty much, taken out their radar sites. We've taken out, and so the big things, like if for instance they don't give up the uranium, and it's all performance based, so the money they're promised they don't get if they don't perform, if they don't like cough up the uranium so it can be diluted, then they don't get it. So it's performance based. It's a carrot and a stick. Here's the money, but we'll kick your ass
if you don't. We're going to give you the money because we want you to be successful. All right, we're going to get it for you from all these people that want to donate and invest in your country, but we're going to fuck you up if you don't follow.
It's performative. They've got to hold up their end of the deal,
right?
Or we'll just bomb your ass again.
Right. Moving on. What Trump has done is to publicly isolate Iran from the entire world, revealing them to be intransigent and dishonest and unable, among other nations, to keep their word. Most people already know this, but by the very public, camera-intensive signing of the MOU, it gives a visual power punch to Trump's willingness for peace and Iran's unwillingness for peace. It's a masterstroke, and it is. And you can't explain this to the current libnuts because they don't want to hear it. Their TDS will not allow them. Oh, Trump didn't do anything right. Some think Trump is being played. We hear that on both sides. We're hearing it from supposed MAGA people. Trump cannot be played. He's been dealing. Did you see what he did when he went over to the G7? I'm the boss. And then he started laughing. Yeah, it was great. It was brilliant. Trump cannot be played. He's been dealing too long and too well to get played. Some think Trump can be lied to without him noticing. Trump's leg has been urinated on by the dogs of deception I love this writer, for too long for him not to carry a spare set of trousers. He won't be taken by surprise, and he will get their nuke dust as well, one way or the other. Here's the upshot. Iran will sign the MOU. Then they will promptly use their 60-day grace period to do whatever they can to arm up and cause chaos in the Middle East and in America. Now, show of hands, does anybody here not believe that's what they're going to do? Because that's their whole MO. That's what they've always done. They did it during these negotiations.
Unless, and this is the only thread through this, and it's a fine thread, if they finally realize that they've got nothing and they can't fight back.
Right.
But these people are completely insane.
Yeah.
Radical.
Not the people, but the regime. They are radical lunatics.
Radical, I would say partisan, but radical. It's
Islamic fundamentalists is what they are.
Yes, thank you. Radical.
What is it? What, the 12ers?
Fundamentalists. Religious zealots.
The final Mahdi comes down and rules the world with Islam. Yeah, okay.
So they may not accept that.
You got to speed it up.
Yeah, sorry. They may not accept it, and they may be willing to die for it. But if they do decide, okay, we've got nothing left, maybe. But good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. They believe they can get the best of the best negotiator America has ever had. That will be the worst decision they ever made. Exactly. Yep, that's it.
Yeah, they figure all they got to do is wait until somebody else gets elected.
Right. That's what they think. And if it's a Democrat, then they were right, because the Democrats will completely turn everything Trump has done around the way Biden did.
Yeah.
I mean that whole Afghanistan disaster was because Biden was the one that came up, that Trump was the one that came up with the withdrawal plan. And it was supposed to leave about 5,000 troops behind at Bagram, right? And with all the equipment, and Joe didn't want to do that because Joe figured, well, if we go through Trump's plan, then Trump gets the credit, not me. But he didn't have a plan of his own because he had warm diarrhea brains, right? So he said, we're gonna hold off on it. The Taliban was furious. They said, wait a minute, you guys never keep your word. You gave us a date, and they're like, no, we didn't. Trump did. And they didn't understand, they think that we have to stick to, So when they finally came to him and said, sir, we really have to do a plan. Then he snapped, from what I heard. He snapped and said, fine, screw it. Get them out now. I don't care how you do it. Get the military out of there. they were like, well, Mr. President, just get him out of there. And so that's why the military all got out before the damn civilians. Remember that? They got the military out before the civilians because that's what the Taliban was worried about, getting them out.
Do you remember the video clip of him as a senator say he had some sort of, I don't know if it was an interview, but he was waxing poetic that it was going to take 8 or 9 months to evacuate Afghanistan. There was no way around it. So he decides to do it in a rush.
Let me see. Let me get through. I got to get through the ad. There you go. Okay. Here's a good one. Matt Walsh. All right. Because they're going heavy with the Epstein file shit again. Because they got nothing else. The lib nuts. Ready? Here you go. Matt Walsh.
On Tuesday, a member of parliament in the UK named Rupert Lowe released a 219-page report documenting the government's complicity in the systematic rape of an estimated 250,000 young white girls in Britain over the past several decades. I mean, this is the worst sexual abuse scandal the Western world has seen in modern times, and it's not particularly close. And yet you'll find that the same media and the same politicians and the same commentators, some even on the right, who have obsessed over Epstein, for example, will say nothing at all about this. Now, Epstein, of course, was a monster. I've always advocated for full transparency with the Epstein files. I still do. But the scale of this rape gang scandal, the nature of the crimes, the number of victims, the powerful institutions directly and explicitly implicated, all of that dwarfs Epstein by several orders of magnitude. So when the people who claim to want justice for Epstein's victims ignore the hundreds of thousands of victims in this case, you should pay attention to that and never trust those people again.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're all two-faced pricks. Hey, what's up, Linda? Good to see you, girlfriend. Let me see. Joe Bribham probably sold the equipment already. Yeah. You know what? Well, he let them get away with 84. Was it million or billion? I forget. I think million. I think it was million. $84 million in equipment.
It was billion.
Was it billion? Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah. But don't forget, each one of
there were Blackhawks there. There were. I think they said there were like 89,000 M1s that were there.
Yeah.
89,000 Jeeps.
Yeah. And like each one of those Blackhawks is worth in the
like $1 billion, like 1.2 billion,
tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, I think they were like 1 point something billion, the later ones, but they just walked away from all of that. And then to make insult to injury, there were guys that were told, because I saw videos on this. There were guys that were told, just leave it all here. They're like, I got to get my rifle. No, just get on the plane and leave it. They were ordered, and then when they get back, they go, where's your rifle? You were responsible for that. So they're going to put them up on charges and charge him for the rifle. They're like, wait a minute, I was told to leave it. They're like, no, you never leave it. I was ordered to leave it. And it went through a big brouhaha, but too many Americans, what the hell are you saying, Commander? But too many Americans complained about it and they dropped it. But they were going to charge these guys. The Democrats hate our military. It's all fanfare when they talk about it. They don't give a shit. So let's see. Pro baseball forfeits. I want to hold off on that. Yeah, the subcontractors story. Remember how, guys who weren't here yet, remember how they always bitched and said that Donald Trump was an evil guy because while he was building buildings in New York City, he screwed a lot of contractors over, right? Well, here we go. Subcontractors say they're owed millions. They face financial ruin after helping build Obama's presidential center, which is the ugliest damn thing I've ever seen. That's 5 minutes. We're not going to go there. But let me just read a couple paragraphs. The Obama Presidential Center was billed as a lasting legacy for former President Barack Obama, and its construction was touted as an ambitious model built with aggressive goals for minority-owned and local businesses, which was all bullshit because it's an ugly piece of crap. They were way over budget in like the first year, I think, when they were building this thing, because a former president gets a certain budget to build a library. They went way over, so we had to get donations and whatnot. But now some of the very subcontractors who helped build the 19.3 acre campus on Chicago's South Side say they are facing financial ruin as they race to recover millions of dollars they claim remain unpaid ahead of the center's grand opening on Friday. Overall construction, which is today, overall construction costs reported to be $830 million in 2021 and have likely climbed past the $1 billion mark. Can you believe this? A Fox News digital investigation, who cares, identified multiple construction firms claiming losses ranging from hundreds of thousands of dollars to tens of millions. The allegations cut against one of the center's defining goals, helping minority-owned businesses and local contractors grow through one of Chicago's highest profile construction projects, and then screwing them in the end. Among them is Adamson Plumbing, whose owner, Mike Owens, says is nearly $4 million in the red after years of work on the project. Imagine they did that. Now, Obama will come back and say something like, well, they didn't do a good job, and they didn't do what we told them to do, which is exactly what Trump pointed out when there were contractors he didn't pay. He said, look, he said, they went on the cheap. We paid them to have certain real nice products put into these rooms, and they went on the cheap because they wanted to save money. They wanted to keep the money, and they didn't like it. When he didn't pay him, he said, we're not going to pay you until you come back with this. So, quote, that is a hole that no subcontractor, small business can survive. He's right. Let me see. What does this say?
I would like to know why they're not getting paid and what sense is accelerating.
Turn the volume up.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh,
yeah, there
they're not getting their money.
Come on.
My name is Omar Sharif, president of the African American Contract Association. I've been in business since
Look at the building
1989.
behind you.
I've never seen this happen since I've been in business. Even when I work with the Chicago Urban League, so many of our black contractors are complaining about they have not got their money. But the other side of it, a lot of the black community and the newspapers do not know that these people have not been paid. Some of the people have put their mortgages up. They're going to lose their bonding, their rate in their bonding company. They're going to lose their relationship with their supplier, as well as their banker may want to bring in their note. So they're afraid to talk about these things, but they tell me in privacy that these things are taking place with them. And they're scared to death about talking about it, some of them. Someone will hang up the phone on you and just say, I don't want to talk about that, and bye. Yeah, we met with them on several terms, but that's when they told us they had to stop conversation about it because they all signed a non-disclosure. And we're that bridge over troubled water. Not only they're going to be at financial risk, they are going to not be able to work on other major projects that we try to place our contractors on. And some of our biggest contractors are being hurt and hampered by this matter.
Okay, we get the idea. So let's see. Let's go back. Where is it? Oh, we got to go back. Well, we get the idea. He's screwing them. Here's one. Let me show you this. This is Promethean action. These gals are just fan-freaking-tastic. They've been around for a very long time. They're very pro-Trump, very pro-America First. And they're getting really popular, which I'm happy. But Carney calls it a rupture. Trump just cracked Iran after 47 years. And this is a great minute and a half.
The way Israel has handled themselves with Lebanon and with Hezbollah. They should have been able to do the job faster. It just goes on forever.
That is pure Donald Trump, recognizing that Lebanon, which has an incredible intellectual tradition and used to be considered the Paris of the Middle East, needs to itself be liberated from the chessboard. And Bibi Netanyahu has not done it, so maybe Syria should. You see, Donald Trump doesn't deal with imperial proxies. He wants to deal with leaders. And
if you guys don't know, Trump said, like the other day, he said to Netanyahu, he said, well, screw you guys doing it. We'll get Syria to do it because they will do it quicker. In other words, to liberate people from the terrorists, Hezbollah.
Forces that could potentially represent their nation's sovereign interests, which is why he devoted more public press time with the Emir of Qatar and the president of the UAE on the first day of the G7 summit than he did with the other European leaders. Those Gulf leaders represent the interests of their countries far more than Keir Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, Friedrich Merz, or Mark Carney do. Trump's foreign policy operates on the principle of sovereignty, that we have our interests, each nation has its interests, and you do not mediate relations through the lens of multilateral
Right.
or supranational institutions. And that contrast is exactly what Mark Carney was complaining about in the run-up to the G7 summit.
Here we go.
Terrified. So listen to his real complaint, the line everybody quoted, but almost nobody understood.
The post-Cold War world of rules-based order is breaking down. Multilateral institutions have weakened. Economic integration, from which we have benefited,
Listen to this.
is being weaponized.
In other words, the globalist UK government, their way of doing things is over because Trump returned the American way to do things. Okay. And there used to be an American way to do things in the world, which was nationalism. We all get together. We trade with each other, but whatever country you live in, that is supposed to be your first concern. And that's what Trump is doing. And a lot of countries in Europe are now taking that on. Right. And so he's actually conceding. He's saying, yeah, it's over.
The international trading system, which we've relied upon for decades, is under threat.
Breaking down, weakened, disappearing. Look at that. It isn't a list of armies or alliances.
See, this is the shit that no libnut on Facebook will understand or know. They just look at top level stuff, what CNN and MS, whatever they call themselves this week, are going to tell them that Trump is doing this, Trump is destroying the world, Trump is ruining our economy. But they don't realize all the shit that's going on behind the scenes that he's doing to make America great again. And if you are allies with us, you're going to be great as well.
It's a list of the economic machinery, the multilateral institutions, the free trade system, the financial architecture. That's a banker's eulogy. And he's reading it because the thing that machinery was built to do, keep nations dependent, indebted, and controlled by the empire, is coming apart.
Yep.
Okay, here's a question for you. Who's
Sure.
worst, Mark Carney or Keir Starmer?
Oh man, I thought they were twins at one point. Hey, Leanne, what's going on? Look at that. Leanne's in the house. BSDNC, new name. There you go. Oh, that's awesome. Pasha Glub, banker's eulogy, so apt. Yeah. Pauline Hanson was given it to Unfettered Moment. Yep. All right, let's go. Amy Klobuchar. Got this. This is just, they're so stupid. They don't even know what they're doing half the time. So Amy Klobuchar, trying to appeal to America first, people like me and Jade, right? While trashing Trump is even dumber than it sounds, because Trump is America first. They don't seem to know that. They don't get it, right? So this is on Twitchy, all right? Amy Klobuchar took aim at President Trump on X. We know you're shocked, blasting what she portrayed as a massive giveaway to Iran at the expense of American priorities like fighting homelessness, advancing cancer research, and expanding early childhood education. Yeah, you work with us here. This is awesome. The Minnesota Democrat framed the reported $300 billion figure as a betrayal of America First principles because, as we all know, Democrats are totally America First. I love it when the liberals start telling us what America First is and what MAGA is all about.
I can't stand these people.
Where do you see this shit? She doesn't know that none of the money's coming from U.S. taxpayer dollars. She doesn't know that. What a moron. She's a senator. Right? She should know this shit. I think she's on the Intelligence Committee, too. How she got on there, I don't know. Her post drew immediate pushback, with critics noting that the funds in question are not U.S. taxpayer dollars at all, but rather private investment from Gulf nations tied to a potential ceasefire and nuclear framework. Not to mention, they have $7 trillion and can't get anything done. Look at this.
Well, now she says, if we had the 300 billion, we could end homelessness.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, what if we put Gavin Newsom? Yeah, right there.
Give it to Gavin Newsom, right?
Put Gavin Newsom in charge of it.
Fund cancer research for 40 years. This dumb bitch. Sorry, she actually thinks, she didn't realize that the 300 billion is not a single dime of taxpayer money. But
by
down
the way,
here,
fact checkers, this is all meaningless personal opinions.
Yeah, it's just my personal opinion. Okay. So here you go. This girl writes, If 300 billion magically ends homelessness, cures cancer, and funds free pre-K, what the hell have you useless parasites done with our trillions for decades besides jack shit? By the way, that 3 billion is not even U.S. taxpayer money. This is why I love conservatives, because we all know what's going on. The libnuts have no idea. They hear like these ideas from another libnut on the cable channels, right? And they just run with it. They don't do any. When I hear stuff like that, 300, I immediately go and do research before I run my mouth. I just always do. They don't, because they live on emotions and not like brains. They don't do any research for themselves. They like performative truth, where we like objective truth. We have nothing in common with these people. We're just surprised she's not demanding Elon Musk foot the bill this time around. He writes, no, you couldn't. We are $40 trillion in debt because of you people. But they could end homelessness if Trump made the goal, give them 300 billion or something. Maybe you shouldn't have sent hundreds of billions to Ukraine, dipshits. It just gets better and better. But imagine that. She had no idea what was really going on. Okay, here's one.
She's another one that is. I know. Useless.
Yeah,
Totally
useless. Gasoline drops below $4 a gallon. I paid $3.89 yesterday. The national average price of a gallon of gasoline dropped below $4 on Thursday, according to AAA. Let me increase this. Pump prices have been falling for 4 straight weeks. Since May 21st, the national average has dropped from $4.56, the recent peak. On Thursday, AAA said gas had declined to $3.99 and 9/10. The price deal between the price deal between the U.S. and Iran has sent oil prices plunging, dragging down gasoline prices. Brent crude, the global oil price benchmark, fell to around $78.45 a barrel. $78.45. Now, do you know who that hurts? Russia. Because in order for Russia to make money on their oil, the price per barrel has to be very high. And he just knocked it down from like, what was it, 120 down to 78.45 a barrel on Thursday morning, down from around 112. It was 120, like.
Yeah, I think it was around 120.
Yeah. West Texas Intermediate, the U.S. benchmark, fell to 75.29, down from 108. So up yours, libnuts.
Yeah, and this is, and
nice.
I don't know. Somebody was out there coaching him on the, yeah, there you go. I don't know if somebody is coaching him on the timing, but I was hoping for something like this, because this is the right time, because by the time the midterms come around, hopefully gas prices will be down yet much further.
Yeah.
And that's what people see every couple of days, is how much they pay to fill their tank up. And that's going to be a big deal for the midterms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, apparently, the reflecting pool, right? It was painted a certain blue, and everybody's like, why is he using that kind of blue? And then the liberals are coming out on video and saying, you know what? I can't stand Trump. And I thought this would be a disaster, but it's beautiful. They had to admit it. They're like, it's absolutely, he was right. It's beautiful. Now they're saying, it's falling apart already. But there's evidence that the libnuts are the ones that were scraping it and trying to make it look that way so they could put stories out. They destroy the reflecting pool in protest of Trump. Let's watch a little bit of this. Look at it. See them? See them doing it? They're screwing with it to make it look like, Trump screwed. He spent all that money. Well, look at this. Look what they did.
What, they go down there with knives or something?
Yeah, with something. They're probably wearing snorkel or their
dive gear.
Isn't that crazy?
We got to talk about the reflecting.
This guy's good, by the way.
Because,
Doc
of
Rich.
course, mainstream media, namely CNN, the Communist News Network, has had more coverage on the reflecting pool.
Like I told you earlier, they tested the water of the reflecting pool, not Flint, Michigan's water. They didn't talk about the jab mandates or anything like that. They literally went and tested the water. This is not good for wildlife. Shut up.
They did on Joe Biden's cognitive failures.
Yeah, they
I'll
never
say that.
tested him, right? He was only the
Because
president.
of course, you know, it's biased news. So anytime that they think they can get
Let's
one
hope.
up on Trump, they magically have all of this coverage on something. And now that is the reflecting pool, because as you guys saw there, the reflecting pool now is filled with algae, even after all of the cleanup and repairs that are made. And now there's tears in the coating. I think they're cuts. Looks like cuts to me. You guys can let me know how you feel about it in the comments. I mean, that looks like some.
Yeah. You saw them underneath chopping, right? They're crazy, man. The lib nuts will never end. They can't accept an L. They should just take the L and we would respect them, but they can't.
Yeah.
Invited who? Who'd you invite?
Doc Rich.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Cool. Very cool. He probably never saw it. He probably gets millions. He's good. I like his. He even does good shorts. You know, I like his stuff. Canadian government officially. Commander, you're gonna hate this.
I gotta hear this.
Yeah, I do too. This is freaking crazy. I mean, how far can they go? So the Canadian government officially passes Bible ban. All right, not the whole Bible, but parts of it. Right. Canada will now officially outlaw portions of the Bible after Parliament approved a controversial hate speech. The word of God is now hate speech, a bill that will criminalize Christians, churches, and people of faith who quoted unapproved verses from religious scripture. So they're unacceptable views, right? As your former prime minister would say, right? I mean, holy cow. This is nuts. This is insane, right? The final, I'm surprised there isn't like caravans leaving, Canada to come here because people can't take it anymore. So the final effort to stop Bill C-9 was defeated this week, clearing the way for the legislation to receive royal assent and become law. The bill has sparked fierce opposition from religious leaders, conservative lawmakers, free speech advocates, constitutional experts, and pro-life organizations who argue that it dismantles long-standing protections for Canadians expressing religious beliefs rooted in scripture. On Wednesday, lawmakers voted down a motion introduced by Conservative MP Andrew Launton that sought to withdraw Bill C-9 before it became law. Quote, the Liberals and Bloc Québécois, say it. Québécois, thank you, voted down my motion to withdraw the divisive and toxic Bill C-9 to stand up for freedom of expression and freedom of religion. Lawton noted that opposition of the legislation extended well beyond conservative circles. Quote, opposition to this bill has come from the political left and right, from civil liberties groups and a range of faithful organizations. Exactly. Because it's stupid. And this is what I want to know. If the pulse of the Canadian people is pretty conservative, but you have some provinces that are really lefties, all right? How is the majority always commies now? I don't understand that. If you have so many people that aren't for communism and want, the Canada of old, all right? So why is it the libnuts are always in power now? Are they cheating? Do they do mail-in ballots up there? Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, I think that, since they did the mail-in ballot thing, I mean, you got to think
He did it too?
But
wow.
Quebec has for 50 years ruled federal politics in Canada.
What's up, Ludwig? Good to see you, man. There wasn't a massacre about 700 Christian folks in Syria not long after Head Chop guy came to power. I know. It's like if he's the best that you can put in power, then that whole region should be made into glass. I mean, if he's the best you can come out. Fact checkers, it's just an expression.
But yeah, Quebec has ruled federal Canadian politics for like 50 years now, since I was a kid.
It's crazy.
And it, I think you're looking at Quebec, most of Ontario, and then bounce over to British Columbia, which is kind of Washington of the North.
Yeah.
And a lot of I don't know what to think about the maritime provinces.
I don't know.
I-
Hold on. Jimmy from Philly, you still here? I'm about to read your story. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about, like, because I lived in Nova Scotia for 10 years and I still have trouble. Placing them because I know the average Nova Scotian doesn't like the federal government.
Right.
But
We're going to move on, though.
yeah,
All right. PA's highest court. What?
blame Quebec.
Oh, yeah. You ever hear that song? Blame Canada. Blame Canada. We always do. PA's highest court just ruled that a Soros-backed DA needs adult supervision.
This is funny.
Oh, yeah. It's Krasner. It's Philly's DA. He's a complete progressive lunatic, right? He killed bail. All right. One of the most destructive and dangerous political experiments in American history has to be the rise of the Soros-backed district attorney. The left's soft on crime agenda really kicked into high gear after George Floyd riot, St. George Floyd, sorry. Americans have sat back and watched criminals be treated with velvet gloves and like victims, while law-abiding citizens are treated like an annoying little pest. The left-wing Soros prosecutors in blue cities stopped focusing on punishment and accountability and started obsessing over equity, reimagining government or justice, and finding new ways to let violent offenders back onto the streets. It's been absolutely insanity to watch this play out. And as you can imagine, the results of this dangerous experiment have been exactly what common sense people said they would be. Criminals were emboldened, communities suffered, and repeat offenders cycled through the system and got back on the streets in record time, usually before the cops finished their paperwork. Innocent Americans paid the price for this twisted agenda, while activists and elitist academics slow clapped and congratulated themselves for being super compassionate. And yet, the people in Philly still vote this kind of bullshit in. You cannot continue to call it oppression if you continue to vote for it, and they continue to vote for it. This type of worldview might sound new to some of you, but it's not. The soft on crime scheme is actually part of the Marxist belief about crime and punishment. Marxists believe that criminals aren't really responsible for their actions. Society is. They believe the state can rehabilitate anyone, from murderers to rapists and everything in between. The only people who can't be redeemed are the political opposition standing in the way of the revolution. And that's why we've all watched radical progressive prosecutors and activist judges bend over backward for criminals, while everyday Americans were told to shut up and sit down. Which brings us to Philadelphia's Soros-backed district attorney, Larry Krasner. This lunatic. Krasner has become one of the most infamous faces of the Soros-backed soft on crime movement. He's been accusing him of putting ideology way ahead of public safety and treating convicted criminals with more sympathy than their victims. This is true. This guy's a loser. Now, Pennsylvania's Supreme Court has, and they're ruled by Democrats, has delivered what may be one of the most devastating rebukes we've ever seen against the sitting prosecutor's office. And the language the court used is downright astonishing. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court laid out a very basic principle of justice that should be obvious. Prosecutors aren't supposed to make decisions based on politics or ideology. Their job is to follow the facts and the law. Here it says, when relief is not dictated by the record and law, but merely advocated for personal, political, ideological, policy, or other non-legal reasons, a prosecutor's concession does not minister justice. It facilitates injustice. The PA Supreme Court bat signals. That's pretty good. Pennsylvania's highest court just warned that the left's twisted agenda isn't justice. It's politics. We've all known that. We've all been saying that for years. But the court didn't stop there. Nay. Now it was time to turn to Krasner. The court described a disturbing pattern from the Soros-backed DA's office, one that legal experts say is unlike anything they've seen before. Abhi Kambli, who cares, a former Trump DOJ official, broke it all down in a series of posts on X. Quote, I can say that in my 13 years of practice, I have never seen anything like this. From the court's opinion, and keep in mind, this is about letting murderers out of jail. Quote, again and again, the DAO has made unreliable concessions unsupported by the facts and law. And when conceding itself, the DAO has repeatedly lacked candor to the court, misrepresented facts, failed to conduct adequate investigations, and inexplicably dodged necessary evidentiary hearings. I'm gonna say this. Did you ever hear of broken windows theory, Jade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guys, broken windows theory is this. If you're in a city like Philadelphia and you own a business, okay, and some thugs they broke your window, okay, if you just patch it up but you never replace it, it's the same thing with like if the thugs spray paint the side of your business wall or the front or whatever, and you don't clean that shit up with post haste, what it does is it sends a message to other potential criminals. Hey, people around these places, they allow stuff like that. So that means that their attitude towards crime is kind of low. They don't really care as long as they're not hurt. We can make some money here, right? And I say the same thing is going on here. The criminals know damn right well when the government is saying, meh, we don't care what you do.
Wasn't that Rudy Giuliani's?
Yeah,
he came.
Yeah,
up with
Giuliani.
that.
You know what his philosophy was? Okay, if someone breaks the law, whatever law, you arrest them. If they get out and they break the law again, you arrest them again. If they get out again a third time, you arrest them again, because in New York, repeat offenders get higher times in jail because they haven't learned their damn lesson, right? So his theory was, like, for example, he was a guy that took care of the problems in New York that I forget what they called them, but they were like they annoyed people. Like the homeless bums would bum enough money to get on the subway train and they just live there all night long because they paid their fee, right? So they'd live there and they'd piss there. And people, regular people would get on to using like, whoa, dude, they would just piss all over the place because they didn't want to get off the train, right? Well, Giuliani went in and got rid of that stuff. He just got them the hell out of there. And he would have ended homeless encampments, but that wasn't a popular thing back then, right? I mean, they not the way they are today anyway. So that's what he did, right? And that's why he was so successful and why the people there really liked him, right? So it says here, again and again, the DAO has made unreliable concessions by the facts and law, and when conceding relief, the DAO has repeatedly lacked candor to the court, misrepresented facts, failed to conduct adequate investigations, and inexplicably dodged necessary evidentiary hearings. In other words, they broke the procedures. They broke the law by doing it, and no one got on their case for it because the entire government in Philly is ruled by progressive left-wing Democrats. It just is. So they're getting away with it, but people are finally starting to notice it. Let me say.
One of the best things about Trump getting elected,
right,
both times, was that we,
Getty's losing it.
Geddy Lee, he had to miss some of the high notes, but I don't know. I thought he sounded pretty good. He didn't quite do it the way he used to.
Yeah, a lot of the later albums, he was not getting up there. He wasn't, like, grab my testicles. He wasn't really guys, I was a Rush freak. I was in bands that we did nothing but Rush. Yeah, but go ahead.
But Geddy Lee, I thought he did well. I mean, he's like, what, 75 or?
Yeah, I know. And they've been doing it for 50 years. They were a band for 50 years.
Yeah. And
Rush.
And of course, Annika Niles nailed the sucker.
Most educated people in our society, I should call their work practice, because they have to get good at it.
Yeah, when you finish practicing and get it right, come and talk to me.
Yeah, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, like I said, yeah, when we finish practice and get it right, come and talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway.
I was in a band once where we did a lot of Rush, and we had a singer. It was a female, and she sounded exactly like Geddy Lee. Unfortunately, she looked exactly like Geddy Lee.
That's unfortunate.
That is true. Yeah, but go ahead.
I can't play Rush. I just can't.
Yeah, Neil Peart, he's like the best, the professor. Yeah, he's really good. Alex Lifeson, I loved his guitar style.
Yep.
You know, and Geddy
Geddy-
Lee.
Geddy
I didn't
Lee-
like Geddy Lee on the keyboards because I did not like Rush with keyboards. There, I've said it.
But Geddy Lee was a monster on the bass.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Loved Rush. Loved
I-
Rush. Every song. We used to say, "Give us an album side, we'll play it."
yeah, my respect to you. I can't play Rush.
Yeah, we had a pretty good drummer.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mark
I
Tadeo.
don't play Rush. It's complicated time changes and it just blows my mind out of the water.
Yeah. Hey, Bobbity, I didn't even see you, brother. How you doing? Good to see you, man. What is the evidence of your evidence, sir? Uncle Bobbity. There he is. It's Frobbit to you, bigot.
Yeah, Neil Peart, when he was alive,
Yeah.
always in the
Died
top
too young.
5 or 10
Oh yeah.
top drummers.
Yeah.
He was never number 1. You know why? Because they put John Bonham
Yeah.
and
John Henry Bonham.
Yeah, his name was Henry. John Bonham and what's his name? Bonzo from the Who. Why can't I think of his name?
I don't know.
Drummer from the Who. Keith Moon.
Oh yeah, Keith Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put John Bonham. They put Keith Moon. They even put Ringo up there. But John Bonham and Ringo. The thing is, they passed away, and it's very hard.
Right.
You can't fight a ghost. You can't fight a ghost. So now that Neil has passed on, now he has a chance of being number 1.
Yeah.
I think there's no question he was the best technical drummer ever.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
One time he went out on a raft just to record the drums bouncing off the rocks.
But
who even thinks of that? But Neil Peart. You gotta love the guy.
Yeah, since Buddy Rich.
Yep.
None better. Buddy Rich did the first blast beats. You ever watch him?
Did the first what?
Blast beats.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't.
You know what a blast beat is? It basically,
I have no idea.
Yeah. Well, not going to go into it, but
yeah, it'll take too long. I got a video I want to put up.
It's like real thrash metal.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, he did them first. Watch some of his videos.
Here we go. This is Benny Johnson. Hey, this is Benny. I love how he does that. To all the political influencers attacking Trump over the Iran peace deal, I think this was brilliant.
Here's my message to all the libtards and retards on the right who are attacking the president over an incredible peace deal that he just signed with Iran days ahead of schedule. We see you. We know what this game is.
Listen to
one
him.
thing that
He's
last
right.
couple of months have proven is that there's an obscene amount of foreign influence in our politics. That so many people that you would normally trust are being paid by foreign actors or by the military-industrial complex in order to go against the will of the American people, against the will of America first. Donald Trump just delivered peace in our time with a nuclear agreement with Iran, that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, that it will stop being a state sponsor of terror, that America will have no more need to have so many troops or military assets in the region. Bring them home, please. I want that. Good. Everyone wants that. That we can open up this entire region for commerce. This is a region that could explode in a good way. This is where Dubai is. This is where Qatar is. This is where all of these booming countries could be. The Middle East could be safe and secure. It could take reinvestment from the Arab states, $300 billion invested into Iran. Okay, great. What I'm saying here is if you're attacking this, then we know that you are duplicitous. If you're attacking peace in our time, normalize or stabilize relations with the entire region and Iran, no more war, no boots on the ground. If you are attacking that, and by the way, cheap gasoline, gasoline is going to be like $1 a gallon by the time they're done with it. We see you. We know who's paying you. We're well aware that you are.
Because guys, let me interject here. I when I heard that Tucker and Megyn Kelly and all the others that they had turned, even Alex Jones, for goodness. Now Alex Jones needs the money, so, but because he just got robbed big time. And I still like these people, except Tucker. I'm off Tucker. All right, never again. But they had to be paid because you don't go against Trump that way. First of all, to be able to say that, he said he was going to start no more wars. No, he never did. He never did. He said no more forever wars, and he's ending wars. And I go, you started the Iran war. No, dumbass. They started a war with us 47 years ago. They've killed over 1,000 American citizens in that amount of time. They've been at war with us. Trump just ended it. He didn't start a war. He ended it. It took a little time to end it, a couple months. Please. So when you say he started a forever war and that's why I turned on him, you're full of shit. You're being paid either by Israel or by some European globalist. You're being paid to say that shit. What are you going to say?
I was just going to say 60 days is forever.
I know. Forever wars. Here we go.
Certainly not advocating in the interest of MAGA, the America First movement. You are certainly not advocating in the interest of our nation. Maybe you should just move to nations that are paying you. If you want to be a dual citizen, then maybe you should just go home.
Live there.
Go to the nation that you really love the very most. Wherever that happens to be. Israel, Ukraine, Qatar, China, Russia.
Have at it.
Slovenia. I don't care.
Tucker bought a home in
but I do
Qatar.
understand that, like, I don't have another place to go. I don't have 2 passports. This is my country, and this is good for my country. It's good for my movement.
Yep.
It's good for Republicans leading into the midterms. I haven't been an advocate at all for the war in Iran. I've been an advocate for a peaceful and quick resolution, and I'm thrilled about this. Well done, Team Trump. Well done to the team that has worked so hard on this. It's been very complicated, and there's no such thing as a perfect peace, but it's way better than a messy war. And so,
way better than being nuked.
We're rooting for you. We're cheering you on, and don't believe the haters. We see you. Okay, we know what's going on here. Maybe it's time to go back to the countries that you love so much, the countries you really love. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. He's got it right.
Yeah, they're all out there flying the Palestinian flags. Well,
yeah, exactly. Go live over there.
Go.
Well, they'll go after Trump builds Gaza. Because even Hillary, we got a story up there. Hillary praised Trump. Hell has frozen over, saying that his Gaza plan is the real deal. You know, because none of them could do it. So what's next? Let's do another video.
Yeah, but that's what he does. That's what he's done all his life, is build things.
Yeah.
So why is it a surprise that he can build in Gaza?
These are great. I just want to play a couple of these. It's like 8 minutes long. I'm not going to play that long, but these are just great. I love them. You might have seen some of them. They're porch pirates being dealt with. Here we go.
Yeah, thanks for the freebie, loser. Oh my god! Oh, it stinks! It's all over me! It's freaking
dog
shit!
shit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, disgusting! Free dinner. Don't mind if I do.
Like, why would she talk? I gotta think, are these staged or something?
Are you serious right now? My outfit, my car.
Well, now you're pride.
My dad is. You picked the wrong house to test. Think I won't? Watch me.
You gotta love it.
What the? My truck is ruined. I just got this.
If any of these are real, it's fantastic.
So cute. Thanks, bestie.
But they would not talk into a ring camera. But it's still funny.
I'm not sure any of this is actually legal.
Yeah. Well, no, it is. If they're on your property and they're stealing, you could defend your property. And not until it goes out on the street.
Yeah, but
in a lot of states, a lot of the commie states, no. We'll stop sharing that. I only wanted to show a few.
I don't know if anybody's a lawyer here, but I'd like to hear about that.
I know. I hear you, dude. But the Hillary Clinton, I know. We'll do the Hillary one next. Let's see. Hillary Clinton shocks critics. Here it is. Let's do this one. I know. This is unreal. Hell froze over. All right. Hillary Clinton is red state. Shocks critics. Trump's big, beautiful Gaza plan is the real deal. Okay. Now, who wrote it? Ward Clark. Thank you, Ward. If you didn't have Hillary Clinton agrees with anything President Trump has ever done on your bingo card for today, then you've got a lot of company. And yet, that's sure, because she's still out there saying that Russia helped him win, right? And yet, even though she's the one behind that lie, and yet that sure seems to be what has happened. Mrs. Clinton has offered some words of praise for President Trump's 20-point plan for Gaza, calling it the only game in town. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton offered surprising praise for President Trump's handling of the Israeli-Hamas war while appearing in New York City earlier this week. The unexpected show of support came as Clinton spoke with the New Yorker's David Remnick at 92 New York on Monday during a conversation in which the former Democratic presidential candidate, it's the former failed Democratic presidential candidate, touched on topics ranging from the Israel-Iran conflict to former President Joe Biden's decision to run for re-election. Quote, unexpected is the biggest understatement since Napoleon Bonaparte described his loss at Waterloo as a bit of a setback, but reality is a harsh mistress. And while there's probably room for criticism in President Trump's 20-point plan, it's still the best option, not the best plan imaginable, but the best plan possible. Let's see if we get down. Is there a video? No, there isn't. All right. So what's really interesting here is Hillary Clinton's tacit admission of runaway stage 5 Trump derangement syndrome in almost all Democrats, implying that people should be amazed that she's saying something positive about President Trump. Plenty of conservatives had nice things to say about former President Biden, after all, when he did something good, like withdrawing from the 2024 presidential election after his one disastrous debate performance. That's right. It's still something of a gobsmacker. If there's any Democrat political figure who seemed overwhelmed with Trump derangement syndrome, it would be the loser of the 2016 election presidential contest against the current president, that queen of self-entitlement, her imperial majesty, Hillary, Dowager Empress of Chappaqua. Mrs. Clinton never seems to have recovered from that 2016 loss. Is she now regaining a little of any equilibrium she ever had? No. This may well be an uncharacteristic lapse in intellectual honesty for Mrs. Clinton. Don't expect it to last. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. She's a loser and always will be.
You know,
it's such a piss to take, to like Trans-Tifa, yeah, and the Philistine supporters. That's funny.
You know, even a blind squirrel finds a nut now and then.
Yeah, I know. That is true. So let's see what else we got. We're not going to go over the 14. Let's do the Ukraine one now. Here we go. This is good, guys. This video, if you haven't seen it. So here we go. Yikes! Ukraine strikes Moscow hard with amazing video. So you got to think, like, are they firing these drones? Are they flying them from Ukraine, or did they somehow get inland and fly them? I don't know. Let's see. By the way, my son is now training to fly drones. So he's a sergeant. He's at sniper school in Fort Benning back there. But then they're going to train him to be one of the drone pilots because they said they think he would do well in the program. But in the beginning, Hegseth said, nah, drones are out, because they tried it before and it never worked well. But now they have new types of drones that they think are going to be really useful because they don't want to put boots on the ground. That's the difference with this administration. We all love us some. What's that?
I was just going to say, I'm like you. I wonder where they took off from, because it's 350 miles in deep into Russian territory, and they weren't intercepted.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's going on.
So maybe they sneaked a drone team in.
Yeah. We all love us some video of things blowing up. At least I do. I think all guys do, though. And boy, did Ukraine provide us with some spectacular explosions. let's see. Here's the video. Let me go out. I'm going to go out on X and do it here. Hold on. Let me pull it, share it. Let's bring it up. Now watch this explosion, guys. The roof, the cap flies out. This is just amazing video. Watch. Look at it. Look
at that.
Look at that thing. That's a processing plant, an oil processing plant. There it is. Look at that. Crazy. Imagine driving down the street in America and you see like drones coming by firing missiles at buildings that you're driving past. That's crazy, man. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that was like some sort of oil tank in the refinery.
Well, yeah, it was the processing refinery and
the actual tank.
Yeah.
The lid.
And the lid blew off. They blew the lid off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They literally blew.
Give it 5 years and we will, Rich. We will what? I'm sorry, I said a lot. All right, let's go back.
Oh, did you see that? Give it 5 years and we will.
Yeah, we will what though? I didn't know what he was referring to.
I think he's referring to when you said, "Can you imagine that happening in America?"
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. Zero emissions, etc. Exactly.
I'd like to think that we're going to head that off at the pass, but we certainly weren't headed in a great direction until recently.
Yeah. All right. Is somebody running in the UK? Somebody have a stream going on? Because a lot of our usuals are not here. So somebody else must be running some. Is Dave's Waffle House running? Oh, Simon. Hey. You see, criminals are not responsible for their actions, but victims defending themselves are and should be punished for them. That's exactly their thoughts. Remember what they did to the oh, now I forget their name. The Walensky, or what the hell was their name? They were down in Missouri and they were defending their property outside with guns, an AR-15 and a pistol. Yeah, and because the St. George Floyd mobsters broke through their private gate. And so they just stood outside and said, "Get the F out of here."
Yeah. Did you see?
They went after them and not the criminals.
Yeah. Did you see the actual film of that? Their gun handling is
terrible,
atrocious.
Yeah, but they still did it. You know,
they were on their property and they didn't actually aim it at people, as far as I understand.
Right. They were just standing there. They weren't threatening people. They just stood there to say, "Hey, we got guns. You're going to get the hell out of here. Because we don't want you here, and this is a gated community. You just broke through the gate." So, and they charged them and not the criminals. Let's go with socialist. Democratic socialist radicals push to destroy Constitution for socialist republic.
They'd love that.
What's that?
They would love that.
Oh, yeah. It's no secret that the Democratic Party, once the party of Harry Truman, JFK, and Zell Miller, has been taken over in large part by far-left Democratic socialist nutcases. There are exceptions. Senator John Fetterman comes to mind, but too many Democrats are now proclaiming themselves Democratic socialists, from New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Pinto Santa Maria Cortez and New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani, the commie. These people follow an agenda that would take the United States to rack and ruin. And as it happens, there is an actual organization called Democratic Socialists of America, the DSA, and their proposed agenda is a laundry list of stupid. Is it going to list it here or another word? All right, let's read it. So, blah, blah, blah. Earlier this month, the Democratic Socialists of America's top leadership met for an in-person meeting of their National Political Committee, the DSA's governing authority. The result of the meeting was a Workers Deserve More, a rebooted platform for the organization featuring a host of radical proposals. The document commits DSA to scrapping the U.S. Senate, abolishing the carceral Carceral. Forces.
Like incarceration.
Oh, okay. Carceral forces of the capitalist state. Oh, geez. I learn a new word every single week because they make me read it. Defunding the Department of War, amnesty for all immigrants, and replacing the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen and subordinate to Congress. These people are out of their minds. In other words, the DSA would fold up the Constitution and chuck it. I think they would defecate and wipe their ass with it. Establishing, in effect, a new Soviet republic where America once stood. Let's take a little closer look at the items, shall we? Here we go. These people are proposing this crap. Scrapping the United States Senate. Not only would this require a constitutional amendment, which is hardly likely, I don't even think they can with an amendment. I don't think they can get rid of, Article 1. I don't think they can. All right. So not only would this require a constitutional amendment, which is hardly likely, not that the DSA has any intention of retaining any aspects of the Constitution in any case, but it would effectively destroy the founding principle of federalism. They hate federalism because you can't rig it. That's why we haven't been federalists in a long time, because the left won't let us. The states now all have an equal voice in the Senate. Each state, no matter how large or small, has 2 senators. This would also kick the electoral process of electing our presidents into a cocked hat, which brings us to replacing the president and Supreme Court with an executive and judiciary chosen by and subordinate to Congress, by which they mean the House of Representatives, because the Senate would be abolished. No more would there be even the pretense of judicial independence. The executive may as well be a stuffed monkey under this system. Racist monkey. Congress would be a panel of dictators with no check or balance on their power. Oh, and the DSA is all in favor of ranked choice voting too. Why not? Which, as we have learned, to our frustration here in Alaska, tends to favor leftist candidates. Right. How do you think, what's her name gets elected every time? Abolishing.
Peltola.
What's that?
Mary Peltola.
No. In Alaska.
Yeah, Mary Peltola in Alaska.
No. The Republican.
No. Yeah, the Peltola was the Democrat that accidentally got elected.
Guys, what's her name? I'm sorry. I'm having
Lisa Murkowski.
Thank you, Murkowski. Yeah. How do you think she did? Because she's the one that created that system. She created that to keep people like her in office. Abolishing the forces of the capitalist state, by which they mean scrapping the prison system and any law enforcement. That wouldn't last, of course. Socialists always need some kind of secret police to round up dissenters. They didn't say they wouldn't have secret police, right? In the meantime, every thug, murderer, and worse currently incarcerated would be given a pat on the head and set free. Defunding the War Department. No more military. No more shield of men with guns standing between the citizens and unfriendly forces in the world. Now, let's be real about this one. The DSA would still retain a military, carefully handpicked to suit the DSA's prior. Think about it. It would be Joe Biden on steroids. He weaponized the Department of Justice to be his private lawyers and attorneys and Gestapo. That's what he did with all the lawfare that the federal government did, and the way that they misrepresented the laws, like the FACE Act, right? They misrepresented them big time. That's what would happen here, except it would be a military, right? That's always how it goes in socialist states. Finally, amnesty for all immigrants. All right, no matter who they are or what they have been up to, presumably, and no doubt the DSA would throw the doors wide open in a gesture that would make the late unlamented Biden administration look like the worst kind of pikers. Here, see for yourself. Be warned, if you follow that link, it should come as with a big sign topped with flashing red lights proclaiming, "Here be nutcases." I don't want to go there. It's tempted to dismiss these people as simple cranks, nuttier than squirrel poo. But nuttier than squirrel poo. I like that. But remember, one of them is now the mayor of New York City. One of them is in the House of Representatives. One may very well be the next mayor of the District of Columbia. And one of them, the daffy old Bolshevik from Vermont, is in the Senate. That's going to be abolished, right? We should be aware of what they are doing, what they want to do. And while they are nuts, oh yes, they are nuts, we should not just dismiss them out of hand. Exactly.
Yeah, and the thing is, you talk about, you know, can we amend the Constitution? Don't forget that laws are only good if you can enforce them.
Right.
So the Constitution is a very fragile status, because if somebody takes over and says, okay, we're not going to follow the Constitution, it doesn't mean anything to us anymore, and
Right.
he has the power to have people follow him to enforce his order, then it's done. You don't need a constitutional conference because he just did it.
Right. Exactly. Let me see something.
So the status is actually fragile.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it's a fragile fleur that needs to be protected.
It's a fragile world. Let's see what else we got. Brandon Gill shuts down the Wokes race card games with one simple fact. This is good. I like this guy. He's new, but he's good. So here it is. Brandon Gill, Congressman, shuts down woke Democrats race card games with one simple fact. Republican Representative Brandon Gill, Texas 26, Texas, has only been in Congress since 2025, but he has developed a reputation over the last year and a half for being someone who won't beat around the bush and who will tell you just like it is. He is. He really is. To his credit, Gill says what he says without concern over whether or not it will offend the delicate sensibilities of the woke left, but inevitably it does, which then gives him the opportunity to emphasize the point in a different way that effectively shuts down his Democrat critics. During a recent Fox News interview, one of the questions Gill was asked related to the decades-long UK grooming scandal, where a just-released rape gang inquiry report noted that it has been previously established that at the very least 250,000 young white girls have been subjected to repeated gang rape, trafficking, torture, pregnancy, forced Islamic conversion, and lifelong trauma. Fact checkers, we're just reading a news story. All right. Predominantly Muslim Pakistani gangs across towns and cities throughout the United Kingdom.
Do we know that 250,000 is over what period of time? I can't find that.
I don't know. I
heard one comment. I heard one comment about decades.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters. As my colleague Ward Clark recently asserted, when you import the third world, you become the third world. That's what conservatives have always said. When you keep bringing them here, eventually, when you bring enough of them here, then here becomes there. Yeah, exactly. As my colleague Ward Clark recently asserted, when you import the third world, you become the third world. And that is a viewpoint that Gill echoed during the interview. Let's go.
And you've seen what's happened in the DFW Metroplex, where you've seen mass Islamic migration transforming communities right here in places that you wouldn't otherwise expect. And again, this is something that if we don't stop now, it's going to be my daughter and daughters across the country who are going to be going to public schools wearing burqas. And that's the kind of stuff that we want to stop. We want to recognize that our job is to protect and conserve. As conservatives, we should want to conserve the America that we got to grow up in. And you do not do that by bringing in cultures who have very different ideas about freedom of speech, religion, separation of church and state, the dignity of women, the role of women in public life, who have very different conceptions about how Muslims and non-Muslims interact. And those different ideas matter. And this is a good example of that.
All right, Congressman.
And the libnuts say that we are the ones that are out of touch. That's crazy, isn't it?
And they want to ban passages from the Bible.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They're going through it, man. I feel sorry for them. Now they did. Now I'm starting to think that it was a photo op. They the EU just voted to start deporting them, that they've had enough and they're going to deport them. And I heard that, what was it, Germany? Who was it? Germany and another, I forget, but they already started like in their plans, but I didn't hear anything since. You know, it sounded really good. I covered it here. It sounded really good that they were finally going to turn around and go, hey guys, we don't want your ass here because, you know, you want to turn us into you. and you're not going to live by our culture. So screw you. It took all these years, and now many of them may be too late because they have too many. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them, but let's see. Jealous pinko losers. This is Kurt Schlichter.
He writes well.
Yeah, I like him. I have like almost every book he ever. Only jealous pinko losers begrudge Elon Musk his well-deserved success. So the morons and the moron wranglers are very, very upset about Elon Musk becoming a trillionaire. In their ideology, success is self-evidently bad. He's very successful, so therefore he's very bad. Remember that socialists are collectivists. It must be about the many, never the one, because they want to be the voice of the many, and an uppity one is an obstacle to their domination. That's why they hate individual success. All of the obnoxious lies Barack Obama told, perhaps the most poisonous was his "you didn't build that" lie. What Obama was attempting to do was deny the possibility of individual success. That allows him to sidestep the problem of individual property rights because they want your property. Property is power. And that's why one of the planks of the Communist Manifesto, one of the 10 planks, is to get rid of private property. If you didn't build that, it's not yours. If you didn't build that, then we had to have built that. And therefore, we own it and can do with it what we want, whatever. And by we, they mean themselves and the rest of the nomenclatura of the leftist ruling class. It's rhetorically dispossessing you not only of your property, but of the possibility of individual greatness. That's why they must deny Elon Musk is great, as he demonstrably is by any honest and reasonable standard. I mean, what did Elon Musk ever do to deserve ownership in multiple successful companies other than start them and grow them and make them successful? That could have been anybody. He just got lucky, unlike all the people who are green with envy at his green. Or he was given it. Or something Elon didn't build that. It's not fair that he be successful while his self-evident moral superiors aren't. See, the reason they didn't start an electric car company and a rocket company and a satellite internet company and a prosthetics company and so on is because mysterious forces conspired against them to strangle their genius in the cradle. Are those mysterious forces in the room with you right now? They're better than this Elon Musk guy, who only enriched thousands of people and improved the lives of billions because of the manifest superiority of their fields. Socialism is the ideology of those who want power and those who want stuff without working for it. And nothing demonstrates that better than the vitriolic reaction of Elon Musk's success. He's a terrible person, because he took the most prominent social media company and opened it up, allowing people to speak freely. And when people speak freely, socialists lose. They'll never forgive him for that or for anything else, like his total unwillingness to accept their premises and genuflect at their altars. They have even resurrected the Elon is a literal Nazi thing where he waved at a crowd. It kind of fails to resonate when the same leftist heroes who are standing up to those literal Nazis are drooling over a guy who literally emblazoned a Nazi concentration camp's guard's death head into his chest for 20 years. If Elon was handing out cash to grubby NGOs like George Soros does, have you ever heard a leftist get mad at billionaire George Soros? They would love him. They wouldn't be any to say enough good things, all right, about him as long as he writes his checks. Of course, all this moral posturing is a fraud. It's not that Elon is a trillionaire. It's that he's not a leftist, or at least not that he's a leftist now. You could probably call him a lefty 20 years ago. He said that. The leftists just picked up and moved the goalpost for what constitutes a leftist. Perhaps his son committing to pretending to be his daughter was just a bridge too far. But he'd never be a good leftist because he can't bring himself to say things that just aren't so. And being a committed leftist requires you bring yourself to say things that just aren't so. The fact that Elon Musk has done more for humanity and society than 1 million of their NGOs. He got rich off his companies that improved humanity and society, and he should get rich off them. After all, he built them. They are his. The socialists seek to circumvent this problem by rejecting the concept of private property. Guys, that is a big thing they want to do. They want to take away private property from everyone. You will own nothing and you will be happy. They want to do that. Everything is theirs. You just get the scraps they decide to let you keep. But that's not how our society works, at least not among normal people. Normal people look at Elon Musk and think that they'd love to do something, the same thing he did. They're also grateful for their investment returns, I am sure. But socialists look at Elon Musk, realize his own personal failures, and get mad because they don't have what he earned. So they want to take it. This is what they'll do if they get back in the house. They want to take more. They want to raise your taxes, right? And they try to dress up their greed with highfalutin language about morals and justice, but they're just thieves. They're the Hans Grubers of Western politics, except dumber and with worse clothes. They don't want to work, and they're not smart enough to build anything, so they're mad at the guy who did work and who did build a whole bunch of stuff. Leftist failure is such that a lot of their arguments aren't going to work on normals anymore. The socialists are hoping to gin up hatred over Elon for his success, but their rabble-rousing is tired and dull. Moreover, it doesn't quite resonate. After all, we're in an era of Somalis ripping off billions for their leering centers, and California continues building its railway to nowhere. The unstated premise is that if you took Elon Musk's stuff, which doesn't actually exist as a pile of money that he sleeps on in his castle, they would, in their wisdom, be able to solve all the world's problems. But we've seen what they do with money, and what they do is pocket it, then fail to solve problems. But of course, they don't want to solve problems because without problems, they don't have power. Their proposal is that you give them money and they will take the money and make things worse. That's exactly correct. Liberalism is a failure every single time.
Liberals remind me of the firefighter who is an arsonist.
Yeah, it happens. It happens all the time too. So let's see. Oh yeah, you got to see this one. This is awesome. The World Cup, people. This is really good. Okay, so the World Cup is undoing decades of anti-American propaganda. Like I said earlier, if you weren't here, I watched this couple that they have a large channel on YouTube, and they're from the UK, and they've been visiting America, and the guy, like, there's beef, they're into working out and all. And the guy said, he goes, you know what, I was kind of afraid to come to America. He goes, because he said the news and everything over in the UK says how horrific America is, that it's not that you know, it's not safe to go anywhere. And he goes, boy, were we shocked. Well, here's something like that. So the World Cup is undoing the anti-American propaganda. Okay, so America is pretty awesome. We all know that. And that patriotism of Americans is a testament to how great this country is, because there are forces in this world who spend night and day billions and billions of dollars and endless hours of manpower to convince both people within and without the United States is hell on earth. But all it took was an internationally loved sport to sweep all that away in a matter of days. Decades and decades of anti-American propaganda just tossed into the trash as nations from all over the globe converge stateside and experience the actual wonder that is the United States. I wanted to play that couples because if you're an American, guys, for those of you that are American, if you watch this thing, you're like, damn, I am so proud. These people love this country, and they're not from here, but they fell in love with it. And they get into like the reasons why, because most Americans are very, very nice people. Like even in California, right, Bobby? Yeah, they're just very, very nice people, and they're very generous, and we just do things differently. Let me see, get down to the videos. Let's see, here we go.
Yep. That.
Born in the USA because he's.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, except for the song.
Yeah, except for the song. But here we go. Here's another one. This is great.
Steak, hamburger, and Caesar salad. So good. Teddy Brooks barbecue. How was it? Oh, very nice. A steak, and that Mexican.
Mexican.
Yeah, yes. Eat? Yeah. Steak. Of course, steak. Texas barbecue. I did beer and barbecue. Yeah, that very delicious. Expecting the lot of big food like barbecues with burgers. So the all things in Texas. So I'm so happy to eat everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh crap! I wanted to go back because there's other ones. Hang on. Sorry about that, guys. All right. I wanted to do that instead. Let's see. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. England fans line dancing in Texas. This is awesome. This is how the Cowboys, how they used to dance. They'll get it after a while. But we have places like that all over America, and they're clubs, they're bars, right? And they have entertainment on, and you get to dance, but they give free dance lessons like this. This would be a free dance lesson that you can go to learn how to. It's completely different culture. It's kind of awesome. Isn't that awesome? But it's all this stuff. Let me see.
I can refill this 1,000 times.
Yeah, but you won't drink 1,000 cups of Coca-Cola.
You don't know me. And it's free.
You paid for it. You paid it.
Once.
Bro,
refill. That's the thing. They don't understand refills. Like in America, you buy a soda at a restaurant, you only pay for one time. You get a refill, you can get 5 refills during your meal. You never pay again. A lot of people don't get
Slow down.
It's cold.
Fabio, slow down. Slow down. Why?
That was good. Because it's free. Yes, please. Thank you.
I know I'm going to say it once.
Brother, cheers. Another one. Did I finish this one too?
Bro,
I'm going to explode.
That's too much sugar. You don't need that.
That's true, but it's free. Brain freeze, yes. That's what's happening to me. But it's so good.
Awesome. There we go. These are the two. This is the couple, but I don't know if that's the video.
For years, Europeans have made fun of America. The giant supermarkets, the portion sizes, the flags on every corner, the patriotism, anything you could think of.
They're from the
Europeans
UK.
have probably said it about America.
And the fact that Americans can't seem to do anything quietly. But now, the World Cup has arrived in America.
Millions of people are seeing America up close for the very first time.
Minds are being changed.
And
Blown.
We are James and Shana, a British couple that have travelled almost 20 states in an RV, and we have fallen head over heels for America. We post all of our experiences on this channel and also talk about our experiences and our opinions of different states. So if you are interested in that, make sure you hit that subscribe button.
Right now. Europeans have been laughing at the size of grocery stores in America for years and years. But now, as we said, the World Cup is on and they're experiencing it firsthand. We have seen all over the internet people walking into places like Walmart and making videos because they are in shock at the size and scale of these things. The fact that they used to take the piss, I think their minds are being changed. They're starting to come round and see America for what it is.
And understand it.
It's bigger and better than every other country. Everything in it is bigger and better.
Yeah.
People
now they say in their videos they still love the UK, and the people that they know there, but they just compare things. And then in the one video they said, yeah, we would love to move there, but it's really hard to become a citizen.
Are getting a real experience right now of America, and I'm glad the World Cup is in America.
Yeah.
I'm glad people are having to go there for the football.
Yeah.
You guys call it soccer, because it's opening everybody's eyes up to how amazing and diverse America really is, and huge.
And maybe, hopefully now, the world is starting to realize how amazing the US is. The first time that James and I stepped into a Walmart was a crazy experience. First of all, we weren't expecting to see so many American flags hung up on the ceiling.
Everywhere.
It was incredible to see, and we were thinking, like, this would never happen in a UK supermarket.
I'm sorry, but there is not one thing that you can't buy in Walmart.
Yeah.
I saw.
You can go from motor oil to produce to clothing to bicycles to power tools, ammunition. Yeah, guns. Well, shotguns.
There was a tire shop in there, canoes.
Yep.
Guns.
Yeah, arrows. Is it arrows,
Knives, arrows.
Yeah, everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Toys, like food, anything you could ever think of is inside of Walmart.
Yeah.
You
could get lost in there.
You could get lost in there for hours and hours.
And
I
also,
think one time, did we lose each other in there before?
Oh, of course.
We do. Sometimes me and Shana go into Walmart and we lose each other for a long time.
Also, Europeans are
Seriously,
1000% not used to seeing this because they do not sell guns. Maybe knives? Kitchen knives, like kitchen knives, but nothing like you guys have in America.
Some shops in the UK, in the London area, can't even sell kitchen knives anymore. You know why, which is
because you don't have guns. No.
Another messed up story.
Yeah.
But seriously,
that's what you're
people in Europe are not used to that. We're used to tiny little stores.
Yeah. I mean, for us, they're big, but for Americans, they're not big. They're tiny.
No, for you guys, you're probably thinking, what are you guys going on about? This is just a normal store to us.
Yeah.
But for other people from other countries, they're like mind blown by this stuff.
Also, guys, let us know what the best supermarket chain is in America. What's your opinion? Because loads of people told us not to shop in Walmart because of the quality of the food. But we always go there because it's convenient. But let us know what's the best supermarket.
Yeah, where do you guys shop? Get in the comments.
Yeah, we have super
Walmart.
Walmart.
Let us know where you go for your shopping trips,
Yeah.
and not clothes shopping trip. Food, something that people always take the piss out of when it comes to America is the fact that Americans love their country so much. But now people are visiting and they're starting to understand why Americans are like this. Because America is freaking amazing. I'm starting to realize, like, we're seeing videos online of people being like, okay, yeah, I understand why Americans are always flying the American flag and always tooting their own trumpet.
We are very,
because America is insane.
It's amazing. One of the huge things we love about the US is how much you guys absolutely love your country and you're so patriotic. You're always flying your flags everywhere. You have humongous flags, which we do not have in the UK. Yes, we have flags, but nowhere near they're small, but nowhere near as many flags as you guys have in the US, which is really sad to see. And recently there's been a thing going on where some councils in certain areas are banning people from flying the Union Jack, the St. George's flag on their balcony or in their garden or on the front of their house.
Well, it's racist.
For I don't know what reason.
They're fining people.
They're faining people.
They're fining people actual money for flying their own flag in their own country.
It's just, you know what? Because it could upset the Muslims. That's why. Now that is so ridiculous that they would do that. They're trying to appease people who I don't give a F how nice you think they are at particular times. They want to take over your country. That's why they're there. They want to form an Islamic alliance. They're doing an Islamic swarm all throughout Europe, and they want to take you over. And yet your government, not you people I love, your government is letting them do it. I mean, think about it. Finding someone. A guy went to prison. 40 was telling me. Guy went to prison because the cops came and said, you tweeted this. And he goes, no, I just retweeted it. Somebody else wrote it. He goes, yeah, exactly. Come with us. Because it offended Muslims.
You guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? the fact that you guys love your country so much, you should be proud of it, because in the UK, people do not love this country anymore.
It feels like a crime to be flying a flag. It feels like a crime to be proud of your country now. It feels like you'll get in trouble for being like, I love the UK.
Especially, we don't know about other countries, but in the UK, it's like, it's becoming a thing now where like you're not allowed to love the UK. And to be fair, the UK has been going downhill.
Oh, for sure.
It's been really going downhill. And that's one of the reasons that we really want to come back to America and live there.
We just love the sense of pride you guys have, and it's something that we want to grow. Like, how do you explain that? It's something we want to.
We want to have that same feeling. It's not nice when you live in a country that you don't really like being in, and the whole vibe is negative here.
Yeah.
A lot of the vibes that are going around. I need a better word for vibes. Makes me sound so young. I'm 30 now.
Let me put this one up.
So yeah, somebody alluded to this in the chat, but yeah, let's give permanent visas or green cards or whatever to all of these people who love America, and let's deport all the liberals.
Yeah, it's true. We should. Let me just give you like the first 5 minutes of this one. This is the one that I watched that was incredible for me. It was absolutely incredible the way they were talking, because they reminded me of so many things that I took for granted. You know, they say we Americans are obnoxious as hell, and I guess we are, but we don't mean to be. It's just we love our country, you know, and we do things differently from a lot of others. So let's just play this.
The news, the media paints the US in a bad light.
All right, we'd heard that you can turn right on a red light, and we didn't know whether to do it. You don't get that in the UK, man. I didn't know why they called it America the Beautiful.
And the guys try to scam us, and they miss out on the actual beauty of the US. We are James and Shana. If you didn't already know, we are a British couple that have travelled almost 20 states in the US in an RV, and we've had the best time ever.
We today are going to talk about our experience while traveling around America.
The difference in cultures, culture shocks between the US and the UK, differences between the UK and the US, our favourite place in the US, our least favourite place in the US, and if we would live in the US.
We're going to start off with our first ever trip. We did not know what to expect. Shana had always dreamed of doing an RV trip around America. She was nagging me. She was like, James, we're going to America. I was like, I'm scared. I don't know anything about America. And all over the media and news in the UK, they paint America in such a bad light. They make it seem so dangerous. They make it seem like you're going to go there and you're going to get popped.
Yeah.
So I was very apprehensive. So the first place we visited was Arizona. And as soon as we landed and I got my feet on the ground, I got this weird, beautiful energy. America is just like every film I've ever watched. I felt this uplifting energy, and everywhere I looked just looked like every movie I'd ever watched. And it was so exciting. Me and Shana, I was buzzing. I was honestly buzzing. And then we went for a walk, and everybody we bumped into was so outgoing, was so friendly. We had such good chats.
They just wanted a chat.
They wanted to
so
chat
this is a huge difference between the UK and the US. Everyone wanted to talk to us in the US before even hearing our accent. So it wasn't just an accent thing. They just stopped us in the street and like we had a 5-minute chat, and even longer than a 5-minute chat in most cases, on the way to get, what was that first place we went to eat at?
We went to eat at Raising Cane's.
Raising Cane's for the first time. And on the way to Raising Cane's from our hotel, it was like a 10-minute walk, and we must have been stopped about 3 times by 3 different people and had a
That's how they are.
chat with them all.
Heart-to-heart chats.
Yeah.
And being from the UK, we're not used to that.
No.
Me and Shana are very chatty people, but in the UK, most people have their head down. They don't want to talk to you. There's a little bit of misery floating around. So that was our first impression. And we were like, wow, if this is what America is like for the rest of the time, this is amazing. I love speaking. I love talking. I don't know if you can tell. I absolutely love it.
Another culture shock that we experienced was the trucks and the vehicles, and how everything is kind of centered around pickup trucks. There's drive-through everything. drive through ATMs, drive through pharmacies, drive through
Cinema.
There's drive through everything, and this you don't get all of that in the UK at all. And let me tell you, the pickup trucks in the US, James and I are obsessed with. Guys, when I tell you I am in love with the trucks in this country, like, I'm not lying. I am fully obsessed. I've been to the US before. I've been to Colorado, and I've been to a few other states.
All right, sure enough.
But this is when I was younger, so I didn't really pay much attention, and I completely forgot the size of these trucks. But let me tell you, you don't get anything like that in the UK. They are to the extreme, but in the best way possible. The way that you guys do up your pickup trucks and what they're called.
Yeah, but they'll do a shitty job.
Raising them up,
like putting all the extra things on them. We are obsessed with it. We honestly love it so much, and we want a truck when, in the future.
Yes,
hopefully we want a truck.
Yes.
Man. We want a big truck.
Drive-in movies.
The size of the cars and trucks in the UK, they don't compare. Like you
drive-in movies. I don't know if you guys have it, but drive-in movies are where they have the big wide screen. It's outdoor, and you just pull your car up and you put your window down, and they have a speaker there that you hang on the. So at least the old school did.
Yeah,
now a lot of them say turn the channel to your radio to here, and you can get it through your radio, and you just watch a movie. And it's actually pretty cool. A lot of them have shut down, but I think we have one around here somewhere. I haven't been in years though, but it's actually pretty cool.
Have trucks and cars in America that we don't have in the UK. So for us, it was like kids in a candy store. We're like, wow, look at that, look at that, look at that. For you guys, it's just so normal. That was another thing that just like took us by surprise, man. The size of everything. I mean, everything. In some cases, even the people, not being rude. The trucks, the roads, the distances between things.
They talk about
the
food.
portion sizes.
There you go.
Everything is
to the next
bigger,
level.
bigger, just so much bigger.
Yeah.
And like being from a small little island in the UK,
We're not used to it.
we're not used to it. We weren't expecting it. We weren't expecting this.
Let's talk about the portion sizes. So a lot of people kind of, excuse my French, but slag the Americans or the US off for the portion sizes. But in our opinion, we think that the portion sizes are great because for us, we are able to eat some of the portions whilst in the restaurant, but then also take it home for either the next day or later on in the evening.
Watch this.
That's what Shauna did.
That's what I did.
I was eating the whole thing. I was eating the whole thing.
Yeah, so it's good bang for your
look at
buck,
the size
in my
of them.
opinion, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you just take it back for the next day or later in the evening, and it's perfect.
A lot of the time in the UK, you'll go out for a meal and you will not even get filled up with a starter, a main course, and a dessert, a pudding. Do they call it dessert or pudding in America?
Probably both. Or just, I don't know actually. Let us know, guys.
Well, one time we went to a restaurant and we got a burrito, and it was honestly about
Yeah.
double the size of my head, and I'd never seen anything like it. And I said to the lady, I said, am I expected to finish this? And she was like, no, people just normally take it home. They eat half and then they take the rest home.
Yeah.
That was when she gave us that tres leches cake as well.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the first time she said, no, we said, oh, we haven't been here before, we're from the UK, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna give you this free cake, like take it home, see how you like it. And there was just, that's another thing, like when would you ever get that in the UK?
No, you don't get. There's a lot more generosity floating around in America. That's one thing that we noticed.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times we were training in different gyms every day, and a lot of the times we would turn up to the gym, tell them our story, tell them we're traveling around, and they would just let us train for free. I would say 60% of the time we went to
A lot
the
of
gym,
gyms do
they
that
were just
anyway.
letting us in for free. Not because
You
they knew
want
who
to
we
sign
were,
up.
just because they were enjoying the fact that we were from another country and we had such good energy.
Yeah.
The people over there are so much more outgoing in America
And supportive.
and supportive, and like I feel like they genuinely
Want the best
want
for
to
you.
see you do good.
Yeah.
Where in
Yeah,
the
we do.
UK, it feels like the opposite of that a lot of the time.
They want to drag you down.
They really want to drag you down. And done 29 years living in the UK. Going to America has changed our lives in many different ways. It's opened, it's like broadened our horizons. It's allowed us to see that there are other places in the world that are just so unique and so beautiful. Like I didn't know anything about America before we went.
No, James didn't know anything. I literally had to drag him here
Yeah.
or to the US.
Yeah, I was nervous.
He was
like
very
I said.
nervous.
Well, we've had enough of that. So let's.
Yeah, I saw one, and this was my favorite. I think we talked about this. Did I mention it earlier or before the show? Where there was a couple of guys at a table, and another patron walked over. They were at a Texas barbecue, and they had a rack of ribs, and the guy says, "I'm sorry, but I just had to come over." And he says, "No, no, put down your knife and fork." He says, "You take the rib and take it in your hands."
Yeah.
And so the guy looked a little confused, but he did that, and he's biting into the rib, in a good old Texas barbecue rib, and his just, you can see his eyes just opening wider. It was like, oh my. And I just thought that was cute. The guy just couldn't
Yeah.
resist, because this guy was trying to cut little pieces of the rib off with his knife
Right.
and fork. Just, you don't eat it with a fork, he says.
Yeah, you don't do that. Come on.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then he tore it apart. He says, "Oh my gosh, I've never had meat that you could tear like this."
Oh yeah, yeah. Deranged Whoopi wants Knicks, the New York Knicks, to visit White House for slavery reminder, not victory lap. She's a lunatic.
Recently, they were at the White House trashing Michelle Obama. I mean, you know,
You
it's
mean the
kind-
UFC?
Yeah, it's kind of.
Well, but you know what?
The indignity of these poor
They
guys
could
having to
show
go down
what
there.
real men do.
But-
You know what?
Wait a minute. The indignity of these poor guys having to go down there. Talking about the UFC fighters. Are you kidding me? They obviously didn't watch it. It was a hell of an event. One guy who is known to make outrageous statements like that for comedy effect, right? He won his fight, and this was UFC is real. It's not like that wrestling crap, right? UFC fighting is real fighting, right? And the guy won, and then they were interviewing, and it was Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan's a UFC fighter himself. And it was Joe Rogan who was like the the reporter, if you will, in the ring that goes up. And so, what do you think? How did it go? And well, he knew who he was dealing with, right? Because everybody knows the guy. And so the guy was trying to take the mic from him, and Joe wouldn't give it
to him. But
he turned around and he goes, "And one last thing I want to say, Michelle Obama is a man." And he turned around and walked away, and everybody cheered and all.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
Yeah, and they all cheered and all that. It was funny, but I mean, if you're Michelle Obama, I don't think it will be.
Well,
I
here's
don't
the
agree
thing.
with the.
What's that?
Here's the thing about that. Has anybody ever heard of the term marketing? This guy, it was
Yeah.
a genius move, because you know what? How many people are going to now tune into him to hate watch?
Right.
Just so they can comment.
Oh, yeah.
It was brilliant.
Republican position. I don't agree with Trump. I don't agree with J.D. Vance. I was nice to him. I respect the position. Yeah. I respect the
No, you
office. And so
You don't respect the office of the president when you trash Trump every time you win.
I'm feeling two ways about it. Like, yes, maybe you have to respect the White House. You don't have to respect who's in the White House, though.
But I think there's a reason why every single, the previous 5 NBA champions crowned during the Trump administration refused to go. I think there's a reason for it. And that's because he politicizes the events that come before him. That's one of the problems. I don't think you can separate Trump from the White House, even though we would like to, because it is the people's house. He doesn't treat it like the people's house.
I want them to go.
Do you?
I want all those black men.
You hear how she pauses, because she knows when she pauses, that's the of the audience. That's a signal to them to start clapping for what she says.
To stand in our house and remind all of those people, as we try to remind
the vice
president, that when you try to destroy one part of history, you're destroying all of our histories.
What are you talking
And
about?
they, as champions.
See, these idiots think that Republicans and conservatives want to remove the ugliness of slavery from our history. And it could be the furthest thing from the truth, because the Democrats were the ones that were responsible for the ugliness of slavery in our past. So why would we want to get rid of it? They act like the Republicans were the ones that were the slave owners, right? And did you know that it was like 1.2% of Americans at the time that owned slaves?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, it was
millions of people, 1.2%. And there were, I think it was almost that many black freed men who owned slaves.
Yeah, and it was a wealthy man's game.
Yeah, they want you to believe that everybody had a slave.
Yeah.
And they want you to believe that, like, everybody had either a house slave that was a butler, or it wasn't that way. They didn't sell them out. It wasn't rent a slave, .com. No, it wasn't like that at all. They worked on the plantation, right? You were either in the house or you were out, or you were a nanny to the kids and all that. It was, horrific, but it was a Democrat created and controlled thing in the United States.
Yeah, they called Joe Biden the last of the Dixiecrats.
Yeah, and yeah, he was too. And it turns out, well, I don't think he was a Dixiecrat, but he hung out with them.
Well, he gave the eulogy for Strom
Not Strom Thurmond. It was the West by God, Virginia. He was a Klansman. He was a Grand Kleagle. Oh hell, I can't remember his name.
Okay,
Louis, help me out.
I thought it was Strom Thurmond. Maybe
Louis, help me out. Who was the guy? West Virginia.
Yeah. I'm probably wrong.
Klansman. I can't remember his name for some weird reason. And as a matter of fact, they made him. Hold on. Senator, West Virginia, Democrat, Klan. Let's see. Why can't I? Robert Byrd. Thank you.
That's
Robert
okay.
C.
I'm
Byrd.
sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobbity. Yeah. So Byrd, get this. Byrd was a Grand Kleagle. Whatever that is. I think a Grand Kleagle was the biggest recruiter for the Klan, right? So he told people, hey, we hate all these black people, so come on and join us, and you get to beat them and stuff like that, right? The Democrats in the Senate, not once, but twice voted him as Senate Majority Leader. The Klan guy. Oh, well, he left the Klan and he changed his life. No, he didn't. On Fox News, he used the N-word. He literally used the N-word on Fox News. And then the Democrats all screamed that Fox didn't edit that out. And the guy, I forget the guy's name. The guy was like, he died of cancer eventually. The guy was like, he was like, well, why would we do that? We do the full interview. We're not going to, we wouldn't erase anything bad that, a conservative said, and they never did. Right. Grand Kleagle. Yeah. And, Grand Kegel exercise. Yeah. But they made him twice. And I remember when he died and Clinton was walking out of the, they were all walking out of the ceremony, and who was it? I think Durbin. I could be wrong, but they were walking out and they were laughing about something. They were telling a joke and they were laughing. And then Clinton looks up and sees the cameras are on him, and like a pro slime ball, he goes like he's crying. It was like so great to see that, because you're like, what a damn phony.
And these people, they're also excited and upset about the comment about Michelle Obama, but it was okay when, I forget who said she was an escort.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
They were saying, no, she's an escort. And then was it Jimmy Kimmel that said she looks like an expectant widow?
Yeah.
These things are all okay.
Yeah. Oh, here, he wasn't a Grand Kleagle. He was an exalted Cyclops. What the hell is that? Hold on.
That's as
in the Klan,
clear as Grand Kleagle.
A exalted Cyclops. Let's see what that was. Was the chief officer and president of a local chapter known as a clavern. Elected by the chapter members, they were responsible for running meetings, overseeing initiations, enforcing organizational rules, and directing local activities. Oh, good Lord. Can you imagine?
Geez, I'm glad.
Well, let's get back to this.
I'm glad I know that now.
Not only as amazing basketball players, but as people who were down and came back up. This is what this looks like.
Yes.
This is what this looks like. So I want them to go. If only so the kids know that nobody can keep you down if you are rising up.
Wait a minute. Every president has every winner of a championship that high up to visit the White House.
Yeah, who was it that didn't want to go? Was it the football?
I don't know.
There was somebody who didn't want to go because they didn't like Trump.
But every single one. Well, there was a situation where they couldn't go, but they couldn't go to the. There was one team that did go to the. It wasn't the State of the Union. It was his joint session. But there was another team that was invited. They said we can't go because we have an obligation, but we'd love to go to the Oval Office, and they did. That's what that was. But the press never told you that second part because they're POS. So she's acting like, do you see her? This woman is deranged. You know, I want them to go to show what slavery was like. How the hell does a winning team show what slavery was like? I mean, she's one of the richest black people in the country. All right. Until she got on The View, most of America liked her because she was funny. She was in movies. She was a good actress, I thought. Not great, but she was a good actress. She played her roles, right? And she did that that charity, you know, the comedy charity that all the comics did. She was there, comic relief they called it, right? She did a lot of good things, and then she joined, you know, the shrew, and just went totally nuts.
5 harpies in a table.
Yeah, 5 harpies in a table. Yeah, she went totally nuts with all that. So
That's
he
what I
looks
call
like a
them.
British judge on Every Bad Century. Very Bad Century. That's funny. Does Whoopi actually think her hairstyle is attractive or appealing? I don't think she cares at this point. Crikey, cranking Moses, Jehoshaphat, bitters and twister. That's funny.
Oh, good. That's good.
That's funny, man. Yeah.
Okay, next.
Yeah, let's do it. Let me go back up. Yeah, I did the British. Hegseth and NATO. Mangione uses psychiatric defense. Mark Carney trying to pitch Chinese EV deal to Trump at the G7. That went over real well.
Yeah,
11
I don't think
illegals.
we should listen to. Oh, I want to hear this. I got to hear about.
What's that?
California requires proof of gayness.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I didn't
No,
make
we-
that up. That was.
I mean, this is.
I
from
usually
the
don't change the titles, but
This is from the Babylon Bee, right?
no, it's from the Federalist actually.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know
you know what I mean.
I
It's
know,
got to
I
be
know.
the Babylon Bee.
Yeah. So California requires proof of gayness to get utility contracts, but not proof of ID to vote. So here we go. Who wrote it? Sky Graham. Okay. California businesses have to go through a gay certification process. Fact checkers. It's written down and it's an actual process. Thank you.
And we didn't write it.
Right. Let me start over. California businesses have to go through a gay certification process to receive special contracts meant for gay-owned companies, Christopher Rufo of City Journal reported Tuesday. Now, the Libnuts heard Christopher Rufo, and they probably lost their minds because they get triggered by him. Okay. If these business owners fail to sufficiently prove their claimed gayness, how do you prove it? They may face up to a year in jail, while California's vetting process for voters is practically non-existent. How do you prove?
What do you got to like show pictures of your?
You got to, you got to bring
endeavors or
videos and shit. Like what? You got to bring your toys.
No,
We're just having fun. All right.
videos of your.
I don't know. They got a kiss like in public.
Yeah, I don't know.
The California Public Utilities Commission, CPUC, sets regulations for private utility companies and now pressures them to hire contractors such as engineering firms, infrastructure companies, and fuel suppliers who are owned by individuals who identify as LGBT, Rufo reported. CPUC's supplier diversity program works to include diverse firms in the organizations that receive utility company contracts. Former Governor Jerry Brown, remember that name, signed legislation in 2014 that expanded the definition of diverse firms to include businesses that are LGBT owned, making them eligible for supplier diversity benefits.
If they're so diverse, I wonder how many conservatives they have.
None. In order for businesses to receive these contracts, they must submit documentation that proves the qualifying owner's LGBT status. Where do you go? I like to get my creds. Where do I go for that? Look,
Okay, they get a checklist of 13 options. Go ahead.
There you go.
reading.
Applicants can pick from a checklist of 13 options for how to. I was at a gay pride parade. 13 options for how to prove their gay or transgender identity. Guys, can you imagine if they did this for heteros? How do you prove you're a hetero? Baby, come here. I mean, think about it. I mean, oh my God. If I were gay, I would be upset over this. I'd be like, wait a minute. Hold it. Hold the phone. I get a privilege because of it. Accepted documents include reference letters that can vouch for someone's status as LGBT, joint living agreements that include a same-sex partner, or media coverage that states the person's status as LGBT. Now, do you know how difficult that would be? Look, there's a lot of gay people that are not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. What if you're not in a relationship?
Yeah, and like oh my God, like they don't wear it on their sleeve. A lot of them. Okay, I mean, we're talking millions in this country. Don't wear it on their sleeve, but now they're going to have to in order to get a government grant. Come on, all because the vultures in media and the politicians want to get creds for that. You know, we care more about them than you do. You know, that kind of crap. So Christopher Rufo wrote, "Scoop: California is pressuring public utilities to award $633 million in special contracts to LGBT-owned firms. To qualify, residents must go through the state's official gay certification program and face up to a year in jail if they're not gay enough." Holy mackerel. Why would you even consider? Although California does its due diligence to ensure the gayness of contract recipients, the state does not enforce voter identification with anywhere near the same scrutiny. California is one of 12 states with no voter ID law currently on the books.
How many of them are blue? How many of them are blue?
Oh, yeah, probably. Well, let's do one of 12. Let's see. What are they? So which are the ones that are not? Hold on. What's the scale? Where's the scale? Wait a minute. No ID required are the green. 2, 3, 4. Pennsylvania. Yeah. You know what? We had passed a voter ID in a vote one time. And what happened was the Democrats, they fought it off long enough so that then they were able to argue to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which was 7-2 Democrats, I believe. It was overwhelmingly Democrat. Well, there's just not enough time to do this before the midterm election back when it was done. And then it just lost power. It lost steam there. Yeah, but all blue states, I believe. Yeah, Minnesota, Illinois. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, of course. Maryland, of course. New York, obviously. Vermont, Maine, and Rhode Island. What is Rhode Island? Wait, where is it? Delaware's not? Oh, wow.
You could probably add Colorado to that because we have universal mail-in balloting, so nobody has to show an ID anywhere.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, they force you to do that, don't they?
Yep.
That's crazy. It's crazy. All right, so where was I? How did I get off there? Okay. Cool. All right. Furthermore, the state's governor is actively working to prevent localities from signing voter ID requirements into local law. Well, there's your democracy, right? The governor is saying to people in a community who want voter ID requirements in law, you can't do that. These are the same schmucks who say we got to have democracy. Trump's ruining our democracy. No, if the people want something enough to protect elections, Trump's all for it. Why can't they be? Because they don't want their elections protected.
That's the only way they stay in power. Now,
That's exactly right.
I should have sent you this story in retrospect, but it's probably not worth a whole read. But I got to tell you, in Colorado, recently, Denver Public Schools fired this female LGBT activist teacher.
Right.
And what she was doing, and the reason she got fired was, get this, she was having twice weekly skits that the kids in school, this is Denver Public Schools, we're not talking about acting classes at university.
Right.
Denver Public Schools, And twice a week she would have skits, and in the skits, and they interviewed a bunch of kids. She said, oh yeah, she handpicked the kids that she wanted to be in the different roles, and she always picked the girls. And each one of these skits had the girls kissing each other.
Oh wow.
Like French kissing each other.
You ran out of the room to type London. What? What's up,
So
Chris?
yeah, she was
Nice.
she was having these girls kiss in front of the class.
Wow.
And I don't care what people want, but first of all, leave the kids out of it. That's my
Right.
big thing.
Right.
And don't force people to do anything they don't want to do. Those are
Yeah.
my two bottom lines.
Wow.
Otherwise, you do you.
Yep. Let's see. Here we go. The Epstein. The Epstein one. Bombshell Epstein notes exposed desperate effort to take down Trump. There we go. Newly uncovered handwritten notes from Jeffrey Epstein have exposed the convicted child predator's obsession with finding damaging information on President Donald Trump and revealed his ultimate failure to produce anything of substance. The revelation comes from a lengthy report published in the New York Times magazine examining Epstein's final days before his death in 2019. Before he didn't hang himself. While much of the report attempts to revisit long-running questions surrounding Epstein's death, it inadvertently delivers a devastating blow to one of the left's favorite narratives, the claim that Trump was somehow tied to Epstein's criminal activities. Instead, the newly revealed documents show Epstein actively searching for information he could use against Trump while desperately seeking leniency from federal prosecutors. See, that's when he realized, when he wrote something to the effect of Donald Trump is the most despicable human being I've ever met, it was because he had just found out he was sitting in a prison cell because of Trump, because Trump turned his ass in.
I was going to say Trump was intimately involved with Epstein's criminal activities. He's the one who turned him in.
Yeah, exactly. He was. So let's see. According to the report, investigators obtained previously unseen handwritten notes Epstein made while in jail. The notes reveal that Epstein repeatedly returned to one subject, Donald Trump. So they're all saying, oh, he was friends with Trump. He fucking hated him. We obtained about a dozen pages of other notes handwritten by Epstein in jail that were also previously unseen, including some in which he tried and failed to come up with significant information he might have on Donald Trump to offer to prosecutors. The documents paint a picture of a convicted sex trafficker frantically searching his memory for anything he could trade to federal authorities in exchange for favorable treatment. Quote, his attorneys discussed with federal prosecutors the prospect of a proffer, giving them information that might be useful in other cases in exchange for the possibility of some leniency in his own. Now, ain't that some shit? Because Epstein is not the only one who was offered leniency to give like dirt on Trump and couldn't come up with anything. But his former attorney, Michael Cohen, was offered the same thing. And he said, I got nothing on Trump because Trump was squeaky clean as far as that's concerned. But if you go on Facebook now, it's like every single liberal group, they put up these memes that he's a pedophile. Oh, he was in the Epstein files 1,000 times. Yeah, well, so were a lot of very innocent people because they were mentioned in the Epstein files. Now they're in the Epstein files.
Now let's go back. Let's go back to the fact that the Democrats were in power and had the Epstein files for the duration of Joe Biden's existence in the White House.
Yeah.
Don't you think if there was anything in there that they would have brought it out?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I said that today in one of those Facebook posts I mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely said that.
There's no way there's anything incriminating there because they would have brought it out. Very simple.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, here we go. Let me finish this. So Epstein was particularly preoccupied with what he might have on Donald Trump, who was then serving his first term in office. According to the report, Epstein repeatedly scribbled notes about Trump on a legal pad, yet despite his efforts, he apparently came up empty. Jotting on a legal pad, he returned to the president again and again, trying to dredge up anything to offer prosecutors, the report states. The only notes Epstein reportedly produced were his own baseless opinions, such as Trump is a total con artist, smoke and mirrors, and never had money. Okay. The report itself acknowledges that Epstein failed to uncover any meaningful information that prosecutors could use. The findings undermine years of attempts by anti-Trump activists, corporate media outlets, and Democrat operatives to portray Trump as somehow connected to Epstein's crimes. For years, Trump's political opponents have repeatedly attempted to revive the Epstein story whenever it appeared politically useful. Yet the newly surfaced notes reveal something entirely different. They show Epstein actively trying to help prosecutors target Trump and failing to produce any evidence. That is not the behavior of someone protecting an ally. It is the behavior of a criminal looking for leverage and discovering he has none. If Epstein had possessed damaging information about Trump, he had every incentive imaginable to hand it over. Instead, according to the report, he spent his final months trying unsuccessfully to find something prosecutors could consider valuable. The broader history is already well established. Trump and Epstein moved in some of the same Palm Beach social circles decades ago before their relationship deteriorated. The two reportedly had a falling out years before Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Trump later publicly praised the law enforcement investigation that led to Epstein's prosecution. Since then, Trump has consistently maintained that he was not part of Epstein's circle. And you know what? Melania did a video not that long ago, like 2 weeks ago, where she came out and said, look, she said, people with money, they find themselves at the same charity events, the same balls, the same dinners, and you bump into each other all the time, and people are always taking pictures of you. So there are pictures with us. We were not friends with these people. That's what she was saying.
Yeah, and again, you alluded to it a couple of minutes ago. Trump must be the squeakiest, cleanest person around because the Democrats have been searching and racking their brains for like 11 going on 12 years now.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And they've not come up with anything that sticks unless they've got a partisan judge that throws out all the exculpatory evidence.
That's what they always do.
And, you know,
that's
and
the
so
MO.
it's very simple. They don't have anything. Why? Because
There's nothing to have. That's the point.
Right.
Yeah, there's
And-
absolutely nothing to have.
And what amazes me is they had the Epstein files during Biden's existence, if you can call it that, and they didn't release anything. They didn't say anything. Trump gets into office and he releases a lot of the pages. I don't know how many still exist, but then he gets criticized for not releasing everything. So,
Right.
I mean, you people are nuts.
Yeah.
You people
Yeah,
are
they
nuts.
are. Let me play this one.
Do we want to hear about Trump goes scorched earth?
Yeah, we will. This is a short one, though. AOC.
AOC recently said in a podcast, I'm just curious how you think about this, says there's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, she says. You can't earn $1 billion.
Let's say you start a burger joint and you have 10 employees and you make a little bit of money, right? Until you have, this one outlet. And by the way, these are the most delicious burgers in the world. People love your burgers, Andrew. And so then you open a second outlet, right? And now you're making a little bit more money and you have 20 employees and you open a third outlet. By the time you've opened 1,000 outlets, you are a billionaire, right? And by the way, this is a real life story. It happens all the time. It's In-N-Out Burger. It's, Raising Cane's chicken. At what point did that money all of a sudden become unethical?
Right.
Or it didn't?
Guys, how crazy is that? He's explaining what a high school kid should learn. When you create Foot Locker, quite literally anything, did these people cheat along the way to do it? And the alternative would be that, okay, you're not. What would be the alternative? You're not allowed to do it. The government will decide how many burger joints there should be and how many places you should buy shoes. Well, actually, that's communism.
AOC.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Was that Dave Rubin?
Yeah, Dave Rubin. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of want to hear about Trump goes scorched earth.
Yeah, we'll do that. There we go. Let me see. So here we go. And then I got a couple videos to play. We'll get it in. Trump goes scorched earth on critics of Iran deal. Is there a video? No. No. We'll read just the pertinent parts. So President Donald Trump on Thursday clapped back against those criticizing his peace deal with Iran that is supposed to bring an end to the war while paving the way for future negotiations on important sticking points like the regime's nuclear weapons program. Quote, these fools who think I haven't been tough enough on Iran when the stock market just hit a record high and oil prices are tumbling down are either jealous, bad people, or stupid. I love how he does that, right? So the comments following the signing of a U.S.-Iran memorandum of understanding that will stop the fighting and bring the two sides closer to the negotiation table. The deal means the U.S. will halt military strikes against the Iranian regime. Both countries will end their blockades of the Strait of Hormuz, allowing for free passes for commercial ships. We win. That right there, we win, right? However, some have criticized the deal, arguing that he makes too many concessions to the Iranian regime while failing to address its nuclear ambitions or ability to threaten global energy. We just talked earlier. We read
Wait a minute.
story.
Those are the two main points that he hammers home on right there.
Yes. But we talked earlier about how Trump got Iran to walk right into that trap, because now, I mean, think about it. He got them to sign it. If they break it, which they will within days, but if they do, we bomb the living shit out of them, because we say, hey, look, you know, this was a serious moment. We signed the MOU, you know, come on. You know, you just violated it. We're going to bomb the shit out of you. We told you we would. So let's see. Awful deal. Cassidy said the details of the deal look awful and cautioned that this will go down as a tremendous foreign policy blunder. Yeah, well, Bill Cassidy isn't going to be around much longer, right? So let's see what he says. Oil is flowing. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The world will be safe. The stock, well, safer with Iran not having a bottom. And now the CNN will go, well, we just don't like the fact that he said the world will be safe. You know, that because he said the world would be safe. Hold on.
What's going on?
I had to respond to somebody.
Okay.
Let's go. So he says oil is flowing. Iran can never have. The world will be safe. The stock markets are roaring. Jobs are at records, and prices are dropping. Affordability. He threw that word in there because that's what the Democrats spent like a month saying. Affordability. Our country is strong, safe, and respected like never before. You're welcome. And Ted Cruz sounded off too. History teaches that giving billions of dollars to theocratic lunatics who want to murder us is not a good idea. Yeah, well, then you do a better deal. Senate Majority Leader said the agreement will be regarded as one of the biggest American. Yeah, but he was all in for Trump or for Obama. Do you know that he was against the Obama deal at first? Right, he was totally against it for the Jewish thing, right? And then somebody got to him, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's the greatest deal ever." Except the difference is that Trump took out their military. He took out 3 levels of their regime family, right?
So they have a choice. They can stick to the agreement. And then we get what we want, or they can not stick to the agreement. We bomb them again, and then we have to go back to the agreement. So it's kind of a lose-lose for them.
Right. Let's see. Marco Rubio shocks this senator with his answer. This is going to be good.
Because we've already proven that.
I like Marco.
We've already proven that we can control the Strait of Hormuz.
Right.
You know, they do not have exclusive control over that.
Right. Yeah. So let's play this now. Where the hell is it? There it is. Okay.
That's just got called out. There's a reason he keeps going to the hospital and they keep giving him cognitive tests. We have not seen the president in 8 days. The American people deserve the truth. I yield back.
I don't even know how to respond to that other than to tell you that it's absurd and ridiculous. And I can't believe we're in a Foreign Affairs Committee meeting in front of the House at an important time in American foreign policy.
Just keep lying, Secretary Rubio. Just keep lying.
Supposedly someone who thinks he's a medical expert when he's not. The truth of the matter is we had a cognitively impaired impaired president in office a few years ago. That's a cognitively impaired president, but I don't like to talk about that because it weakens America. This president we have, this is a guy that literally doesn't sleep. You may not like his policies, you may not like the decisions he's made, but I assure you, this is not a president that sleeps or is cognitively impaired in any way, shape, or form, and in fact is incredibly active, much more so in many cases than much younger people that are around him. Those are facts. I see it every day. You're not going to agree because you have another narrative that you want to push.
Right.
But those are the facts.
You gotta love that, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So let's see. We got time for one more.
Did you want to talk about that actress down?
Oh, Seyfried? Yeah. Let's see. Seyfried doubles down on smearing. Yeah, Charlie Kirk as hateful. Telling us Charlie Kirk was hateful. It's Amanda Seyfried, right? She doubles down on smearing Charlie Kirk as hateful. So actress Amanda Seyfried says she feared for her safety and hired a bodyguard after facing intense backlash for comments she made about conservative commentator Charlie Kirk following his murder in 2025. The reason why people got so upset on the right is because they know that everything they said about Charlie Kirk was a bold-faced lie. They just know it. It was a bold-faced lie. He was a man of God. He was a conservative. He was America first. And he literally, his biggest crime was offering a microphone to someone, putting his mic down so that he couldn't interrupt and just listen to them. And then when they were done, he'd pick his mic up and talk, and he destroyed you because he had logic and reason on his side, and you had emotions and liberalism, right? And that's why they murdered him.
And their response is for this one woman to flash him, bare her chest, in hopes that she could get his video deleted.
Yeah. In a recent interview with British GQ, Seyfried reflected on the controversy that erupted after she described Kirk as hateful, which means she never heard him in full context. That's the thing. The Libnuts were very good. They did it to Trump for what? Going on 6 years now, right? Well, actually going on 8, 9,
12,
10 years.
11,
10 years.
11 going on 12.
Yeah. So because what they do is they take the exculpatory part out. So that's what they did to Charlie Kirk. Everything he ever said, oh, look at that. And it does sound evil until you hear the full quote, right? Shortly after his death, revealing that the fallout left her concerned enough to take additional security precautions. A, I'm allowed to effing voice my feelings, and B, do it in a way that's not unkind necessarily. But does she not see that Charlie Kirk also was allowed to effing voice his feelings and to do it in a way that's not unkind necessarily? But they murdered him for it.
And how many left-wing nut jobs have been murdered for saying what they say?
They murdered him for it. Exactly. There's just, exactly.
They'll go after Charlie Kirk and she feels threatened.
Right. But there's just an outsized fear and hatred and impulse to bash and tear down. And I experienced a very small fraction of that.
How? How? They never say.
Right. Yeah, they don't. I experienced a very small, because somebody probably sent an email or tweeted her. They probably tweeted her something awful, right? Yeah, he gets shot in the throat and is murdered, and they all go online and say some of the most vile stuff we've ever heard. The actress said that the reaction to her comments became serious enough that she found herself traveling with private security. That's the third time it said that in this article. I want my kids to be able to feel safe to voice their opinions as long as they're not harmful. Hey, welcome to the party, pal. How do you think we all feel over here on the right? You guys fucking kick us off of social media platforms when you don't like what we say. And when we say things you don't like what we say, we don't put things in there that you could be banned anywhere. We just give our legal, our political, and our heartfelt Christian beliefs, and you guys want us banned. You say that like our words are actual violence. You're nuts. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I say? And then all of a sudden I find myself an effing bodyguard at the airport, and I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah, you can afford a bodyguard, right? Because those conservatives all paid for the movies that you went too, right? But most Americans on the right can't afford a bodyguard, all right? And they're the ones who need them because the left is violent and crazy. The controversy began after Seyfried made remarks about Kirk following his death that many conservatives, excuse me, viewed as insensitive, prompting widespread criticism online. After the backlash intensified, Seyfried, if that's how you pronounce it, I guess it's Seyfried or Seyfried, I don't know, attempted to clarify her position in an Instagram post. We're forgetting the nuance of humanity. Oh, she's so intelligent. I can get angry about misogyny and racist rhetoric and also very much agree that Charlie Kirk's murder was absolutely disturbing and deplorable in every way imaginable. No one should have to experience this level of violence. This country is grieving too many senseless and violent deaths and shootings. Can we agree on that at least? In the caption accompanying the post, Seyfried suggested her original remarks have been misunderstood. I don't want to add fuel to the fire. I just want to be able to give clarity to something so irresponsibly but understandably taken out of context. When you say that he was hateful, you're the one that's being irresponsible and taking everything out of context because you didn't listen to his full context. Spirited discourse, isn't that what we should be having? Yeah, and you didn't do that, which is why people disagreed with you.
Name calling and ad hominem attacks is not.
Yeah,
discourse.
exactly. Yeah.
Did you want to do one more?
Yeah, we could do one more. What's up? Which
is
one?
California reaching critical mass?
Yeah, let's do that. Bobby, this one's for you. Okay. Let's do that right now. Share screen. Is California reaching critical mass? Okay. He's like, yes. All right. By any measure, California is a failed state and a national embarrassment. Taxes, the highest income and gas taxes in the nation. Roads, the Reason Foundation survey found it ranks 49th among the states. Mass flight, between 250,000 and 350,000 more Californians leave the state than move in each year. Housing, gas, insurance, and electricity prices, the highest in the continental U.S. Illegal aliens, poor, the homeless, the foreign-born, and welfare recipients, largest number in the U.S. Public K through 12 schools, test scores in the bottom quartile. Poverty, 20% live below the poverty line. And that's a large number of people because they have a large number of people. So what happened to the nation's most richly, naturally endowed and once best governed state? Well, Ronald Reagan went to the White House and it was downhill from there. The left took total control after millions of the embattled middle class fled. Millions more impoverished immigrants, legal and illegal, took their place. Left-wing Silicon Valley spawned some of the wealthiest elite liberal enclaves. Jimmy's calling me. Where was I? Enclaves in the world. The result was a neo-feudal society that was hardly democratic. Millions of subsidized poor composed the bottom. A beleaguered middle continues to shrink, and ultra-rich apparat of left-wing coastal professionals and investors rule from the top. Yeah, they say middle-class people, you can't purchase a home in California. You're priced out of it. As upper bracket taxpayers fled, taxes rose on those who remained to fund expanding entitlements for newly arrived poor would-be residents. In turn, even more of the middle class left. The remaining pyramidal economic structure ensured a democratic monopoly, further entrenched by changing balloting laws, gerrymandering voting districts, vote harvesting, fuel public employee unions, and ignoring or undermining popular referenda. In 2014, Californians voted Proposition 1, $7.5 billion water bond designed to solve the state's chronic water storage deficit. They had the chronic deficit, isn't it? Because to save the river smelt, they diverted water from farmers. Right? Isn't that what happened? They the government diverted water from farmers to save a smelt, and so none of the water was going to the people that needed it, not just farmers, but the people, because of a smelt, a fish. Right? Despite the people's vote, bureaucracies, elected officials, and green activists blocked all new reservoir construction. Adding insult to injury, Governor Gavin Newsom instead used $250 million from the Proposition 1 fund to blow up 4 dams on the Klamath River. They had once provided storage, electrical generation, recreation, and flood control. Californians have twice voted in referenda for Proposition 209 and Proposition 16 to bar the use of racial preferences for contracting admissions and promotion in public institutions. Most public universities simply ignored the law. They continued their diversity quotas under new names, relying on left-wing elected officials and judges to ignore again the will of the people. It's the definition of California politics now. Preferential admissions. How can you be a people who vote for politicians who will not listen to you, who do not want you to succeed because they want you to be dependent on government, and say you're the better people? Preferential admissions, along with racially segregated dorms and graduation ceremonies, continued under euphemisms and denials. These theme houses, affinity graduations, and safe spaces practice affirmative discrimination. California voters in 2008 passed Proposition 11 to stop political gerrymandering by creating a supposedly nonpartisan state redistricting commission of 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, and 4 independents. 2 years later, the commission took over redrawing congressional districts as well. This is the commission that when Gavin Newsom said, "Well, look what Texas did. We're gonna balance that off," and he went to the commission, they said, "No, we're not redistricting. We're not doing that. We're not, because you're going to get rid of more Democrats. No, we don't think it's fair." All right. Even the Democrats said, "No, we don't think it's fair." Right. So what is Gavin Newsom, being all about democracy? Right. What does he do? He goes and sues them in court. He lost, and then he was turning around saying, "All right, we'll put it to a vote." I mean, think about what they did. They don't give a shit about anything.
And he rigged the vote.
Yeah, and he rigged the vote, just like they did on his recall election. They rigged the vote against Larry Elder. But Democratic lobbyists and lawyers sabotaged the goal of disinterested redistricting according to population and geography. Instead, racial preferences and the interests of the Democratic majority of incumbents prevailed to warp the intent of voters. Look, we learned through Pratt, right? We learned through him recently that I didn't know this, that California, and I heard Gavin Newsom say one time, but remember, we have, a catch-all, or whatever the hell he called it, right? Like it was a saving grace, which was they have their system so that even 2 Democrats can face off. There won't even be a Republican in the race for governor, right? And that's what they did. So you had what's her face, Karen Bass, laid flat after all those votes laid flat. Then you had Pratt was the top guy, and then all of a sudden these midnight ballot dumps, like the one was 24,000 and Pratt got 0 votes among 24,000. Excuse me? No.
When he was the second place candidate.
Right. And so what you did is you still had Karen Bass, and then you watched that Nithya Kami girl rise up until she was above Pratt. Now it's going to be the 2 of them. That's what you had. It's just disgusting.
That's what they wanted.
Yeah, it's totally disgusting. It's unreal.
Oh my God, that passed quickly.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, it did. All right, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Yeah, Larry Elder. You mean the blackface of white supremacy? That's exactly what they called him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blackface. You're the blackface of white supremacy. He started laughing. I used to listen. He had a radio show that was local here. Like they played it here. And I used to listen to him every day. He was good. I liked him a lot. He's still good. All right, guys, do me a favor. Do that. Hit that like button if you can. Watch the videos during the week and be here next week. We love you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Tell a
really
friend.
Appreciate it. Yeah, tell a friend. Bring those friends in. We appreciate it, guys. We're out of here. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.